And it's live. Oh, it's pretty dim in here. Can we do anything about that?
I'll go get this.
Hey, it's working. Robert Higgy, cheers, buddy. Let me just fiddle with the old, what do you call it? Oh, that's not working. Those. Sorry, guys, just trying to sort out the lighting. I guess nobody's here to look at me anyway. Well, Robert Hickey's here. Cheers, buddy. I do like one of these a year, so I'm kind of crap at it. Let's just get her going here. Got stuff in the way here. There's Joe Doucette. Cheers, buddy. Lou Montcalm. Oh, so many familiar names. Cheers, guys. Jay Robertson. First again. Robert Howdy. Well, look at that. Hey, guys. Beers and Charles Collins and 65. Wow, look at that. Bun's got the harsh lighting going. What do you guys think? Is it more spooky? I'm going to try and get her in here to sit in the chair there, but she won't. That's Bun there. She says hello, but she's too shy. Classic reaction from Pennsylvania. Oh, you guys. Thank you guys all so much for stopping in. What a fun thing. So, as I was saying, I had a video kind of put aside for today, and then my computer burned down on Monday. So, the last 2-3 days have been just trying to sort that out. Multiple trips to the store to get and of course, if your computer's more than 4 days old, they look at it like you dragged it out of a prehistoric swamp. So I did not end up getting the computer fixed, which means that I lost the editing program and everything that I had already edited to get myself ahead of schedule for a change. So that is all gone. So we are starting again, and that means that I'm trying madly to get set up for Saturday's video, and that meant that there was just simply no time to make a video today. And then I thought, I haven't done any kind of live thing in I saw the last one I did was January, so there you go. Once or twice a year, good times. Happy to do it. Got myself a beverage here. So good evening to everybody. Thank you guys. There's Clayton Pattison, Mr. Model T. Cheers, buddy. Oh, and Randall's here, so get ready with the trolling. Where is the old hairstylist? I don't know where he is. Anyway, this is all I'm trying. Even the mouse is new. Everything is new. So we're just trying to get through it today. Don Cotrona from Connecticut still have the Nash fender. Oh, well, thank you, Don. I would have to have a better car to put your good fender on. I do not have a good Nash as much as I would. As much as I keep my eyes open. Very occasionally they come up, and I will be happy to get one. So, David Axe is here. Terrific. Very kind of you to stop in, David. David, a major contributor to the show, and has donated many scale models to our collection here. Very kind of you to stop in, David. David, also a Volvo enthusiast, which I'm happy to see there's at least one. And so, sorry, guys, I don't have any help with the, whatever they call it, with the, reading the questions and stuff. So I'm going to have to kind of try to scan through them. So if you have any questions and I didn't get it, by all means, ask it again, and I'll see if I catch it the next time around. Classic Dude Mike says, need to hang with Dead Dodge Garage. He has a Perkins diesel. Yes, I did see that. My kind of guy. Yes, I have only texted him. I've never spoken to him, but sounds like somebody I would get along with. I know that Uncle Tony speaks highly of him as well, so that's very good. I like the guy who played the ColdWarMotors theme song on the piano. Yes, that was really a cool thing that he did. So I was happy to put that in the credits one time, and I thought that was really, really cool of him, and something I never thought I would see would be somebody covering something that I played on the guitar, playing it on the piano. So that was really neat. Getting used to the clean shave. Yeah, so is Bun. I've kind of been letting it go. I got to get back in there. Two broke send money, found something interesting to pop in the mail for you, and Garrett, something you don't have from 57 Buick Century. Well, thanks very much, buddy. We'll be opening some mail soon here. I have I've been waiting to have a little opportunity to get the guys together and open some mail. I know there's probably a dozen things, that we have to open. There's Sheldon Dick has made it. Julian asks if we've ever worked on an international truck. No, I don't think. Well, I mean, I probably worked on one of everything, but to own my own, no, I have not. Certainly do like the old ones with the KB1, I think it is. That's a delightful truck. David Olson asks, how's Jim doing with the 56 Continental? Yes, things are on hold with that because Jim has moved and he hasn't set up his new shop yet. And he's very busy running the shop while Matt recovers. And Matt is doing a lot better. I was texting him a couple of days ago, and he sounds very optimistic. And I think all is reasonably well. He's at the shop a couple of days a week at least, just running the phones and doing the parts and stuff. So he's recovering unbelievably well. So that's really good. I talked to Jim about the Continental, and we'll probably talk about getting back on it maybe this winter sometime. Jim is extremely busy. He's become a farmer as well. So as we know that farmers don't have a lot of spare time in the fall. So do I miss the beard? No. I didn't really care one way or the other. I'll probably grow up another. I mean, I don't really care about that kind of thing. I certainly don't miss it right now. If I do, I'll grow it back. I don't care. Danny found something for Gary's truck. Love seeing the 40 on the cover shot. Oh, terrific. Yes, thank you, Danny. That'll be great. I just had the 40 Dodge going a couple of days ago. We had to put it back after Gary finished the front of the garage. We had to fire up a couple of cars and put them back. I think there's a little footage of that. Good times. Harry Blue Max asks, what's my favorite British car? That's a fun question. There's so many. British cars, I'd actually like an Armstrong Siddeley Sapphire if I could get my hands on one. But they're probably rare anywhere, and around here virtually extinct. I'd also love, of course, a Jensen Interceptor and a Rover P6, and those are some of my favorites. Of course, Bentleys are lovely too. Yeah, I'm just such a junkie for cars. There's 1,000 of them of any nationality I would love to have. Glenn asks, how is the calendar coming? Is it on track? Yes, we just finished shooting the last photos for the calendar yesterday, believe it or not. So that means that the Datsun was finished enough to photograph it. So that's coming up on this Saturday's video. And so, yes, the calendar is going to be of course, this whole computer fiasco has basically cost me a week, and I just don't have it. Like there is no downtime around here. And so the calendar is now priority one, just because we have to get that printed and packaged and mailed out before the end of the year. So, classic reaction. Thanks very much. Thanks for the entertainment. Cheers. Well, thank you very much, buddy. That's very kind of you. Somebody asked if I was going to paint Smitty Smat. Are you going to paint the little two-stroke Yamaha? I think I will. Still, people said, well, you can't paint it because it's original, but it's not original, and they were never offered in orange. So if I painted metallic blue, that's actually closer to what it would have been originally. I think they were offered in white, red, maybe black, and blue. So I don't think they were ever offered in orange. I don't hate the orange, but I just like my own stuff to have paint jobs that I did. I mean, it's not even a bad job, but that means it'll be really easy to redo. The biggest problem is, of course, that it has got some ominous bottom end sounds coming out of it after another thrashing through the mountains there. It's, there's either top or bottom end, like it's either a wrist pin or a rod is starting to make noise. So I'm hoping it's not too serious, but we'll see how it goes. Knowing me, I'll take it apart 3 days before the rally next year. So thank you, Andrea. Very kind. Curly Killshot says, "Hey, Scott, my fiance Bob and I are huge fans." Well, thank you very much. We're very happy to still be able to do something like this every week. And it's, I still look forward to it. And that's not something I could say about anything else I ever did for 15 plus years. Hey, there's Shopcat. Cheers, buddy. There's Farrell at Shopcat. What a nice fellow. And Motor Town Curiosities. Oh, there's so many great folks here today. Doug Coxon agrees with me on the Armstrong Sidleys. So somebody asked, where is Frankers? Usually she sits behind me in this chair, but she's shy today too. We just went for a walk, so she's probably having a nap somewhere. Lou Montcalm saw 2 Flymos at a swap. Oh man, Flymos are cool. I remember the ad for those. That thing, they probably killed a lot of people with those. Hey. Let's see, yeah, Flymos. Oh, Shopcat knows about those. Yeah. Randall asked, what's going on with Bun's Buick? She is rebuilding the wiring harness. The rest of that car is actually pretty good, but the wiring harness, somebody just snipped it right at the firewall, and all the wires, of course, have faded to roughly the same color, and they're kind of rotten anyway. And so there's just this big frayed disaster, and everything ahead of the firewall was missing, and the car came with a second wiring harness that we kind of loosely laid in there, but there's no way of putting it all back together again. So unfortunately, and not happy about it, but unfortunately the only solution seems to be to rewire the whole car. You can buy a brand new wiring harness, but it's literally 3 times what I paid for the whole car. So it's not happening. So we'll be rewiring it, and again, it's not meant to be a restoration, so we're going to it needs to work though. Everything needs to work, but it doesn't need to win any trophies. So we're going to rewire it all the best we can, make everything work, and then we'll wrap it all in black fabric tape so it looks decent. Oh, Elton, Elton is here. That's cool. What's up, Stoner? What's up, Stoner? That's how he always answers the phone. Yeah, good. You guys, hope you're all checking out Elton's adventures. You can see behind me, where is it? There's on the top left of your screen, there is an Elton original that I'm very happy to have. That's me and Frankers in the gold Renault. One of many Elton paintings I have that I'm just really a proud collector of his work, and he will do your cars as well. So you guys get a hold of Elton through his channel and commission a portrait of your own car. It's really fun, and Elton is somebody I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Let me see what else is going on here. Kurt Wagner, is it Wagner or Wagner? I'll go Wagner for now. Sorry, buddy. Howdy, Scott and all. Can we talk about the Roadster? I remember some early work, but don't know the whole backstory. The Roadster project I started probably coming up 20 years ago, and I got a old water truck from Tom, and it had a running V8 engine in it, and I wanted the truck for the windshield, which is also the same as my F-250 that I have. So once I had the windshield and a few panels and pieces off of it, I was stuck with this. I think it's a 750, so it's like a school bus chassis, a 5-ton or 3-ton or whatever it was, monstrous truck. So because it was still running, I yanked the engine out of it, and then this engine was just sitting there on the ground. And I'd had this idea from watching too many old videos. And excuse me, if you guys had ever, I don't know how many people here are video game junkies, and I'm not a huge one, but there was one game about 20 years ago called Mafia, and there was a scene in the game where you had to drive this kind of pre-war formula car and win this kind of race to advance the story of the game or whatever. And I played that so much. Just played that one scene and that over and over and over again. And I was really getting a little bit too into it. And then I thought to myself one day, you could have built this car from the number of hours that you've wasted playing this video game. So I kind of shut the game off and I went outside and I was like, there's the engine, Tom's old water truck. So I mocked it up with cardboard and shit. And Tom was over and he's like, and I showed him like, hey, Tom, I'm going to make a race car out of your water truck. And he kind of was like, no, you're not, Oh yeah, I will. So that was how the idea came about, is I had mocked it up with a lawn chair and some cardboard and this engine. And I was like, yeah, this would probably work. And then, so the pieces are just a Ford 8-inch diff and a front axle from a Ford F1, like a 1950. The frame is scratch built. The body is scratch built. The engine is a Ford Lincoln 368, and the transmission is out of a Ford F250. So that's how the basic bits of it came together, and I got it kind of 75% done. And then there's always just been something in front of it, and it's not that I don't want to finish it. I want to finish it really bad, but the videos didn't really do anything, so you know what I mean? Like, I guess the trouble with a project like that on YouTube, and I may have touched on this once before, is that a lot of what we're doing here has a kind of a nostalgia kind of appeal to it. And so people want to see you build a 59 Chev or 59 Buick or an Impala or an old Plymouth Fury because they remember those cars. And, they got dropped off at swimming lessons or whatever in a 68 Plymouth Fury or anything like that. So in that sense, a scratch-built Grand Prix car made out of farm truck parts has very little kind of, it just doesn't have the appeal that something a little more accessible would have. And this is the same problem with a lot of the French cars, is they're not really that accessible to a large majority of the people. Doesn't mean that I, I'm strictly going to build or do what YouTube wants, because then I would just go buy a bunch of Mustangs and build them one after the other. But trying to balance what I want to do, like I want a 59 Buick and I want a 60 Impala. So if I want a 60 Impala and a home-built Roadster, but the 60 Impala videos get twice the views on YouTube, naturally, I would be working against my own interest to work on the Roadster. And that's kind of what's just been happening. Ditto the SM. It's been in the garage for years too, but people have this, aversion to that type of car, and that's fine. I don't tell people what they should watch, but I'm still building it. So now I have to I try to balance what I want to do with what makes decent video. And so there we are. That's kind of what is, but it's getting to the point where I either better finish it or just scrap it, or what, like I got to get it out of there. I've been blowing hot air on it for years. So that's there's Menace. Hey, boo boo, you want to get in your chair there? Why don't you be able to have a seat there? What a good girl. No? She says, no, I'm not going to sit in my chair. Screw you guys. So that's, so that's the backstory on it. And it's kind of 80% done. And I've been literally talking to the guys in the last week or so, like, could we ever just finish this thing in a reasonable amount of time? Just get it done and get my $5 off of Tom and get it out of the garage. So anyway, that is the story on that one. So let's see. Well, since every second question is about Dean, I will tell you guys that I haven't seen Dean in months, and I'm not particularly worried about it. He couldn't be bothered to show up to help work on his car. He never said thank you to anybody who did all the work for him, and he hasn't even picked it up. And there's more, but that's where I'm going to leave it. So if you see Dean back on the show, great. And if you don't, it's the thing with the show is it's really not a show. It's just me filming whatever is going on in my life. So if somebody is in my life, they're on the show. And if they're not, they're not. I don't say, oh, well, I better sort it out with this person because I need to make a show. I don't. The show is just whatever I'm doing. So if somebody's on the show or not on the show, it's really not got anything to do with whether it's good for the show. It's just there is no show. The show is just my whatever I'm doing, and I film it. So I hope that makes sense. I don't really want to air anybody's dirty laundry in public, so I'm not going to. But since every second question seems to be that, and hey, I'm not going to pretend that Dean wasn't a big part of this for probably almost 10 years. But be worth knowing is our motto here, and take it from there. So that's the last I'm going to mention that, because I'm not here to rub anybody's nose in anything, but everybody, that's the way she goes sometimes. And there's other people who have also not been part of my life lately, and that's the way she goes. There's the show is not a show. It's just whatever I'm doing. So anyway, let's see. So the other thing with the Roadster is I'm not going to get it done so that I can drive it to the end of the yard and back. Like if we're finishing that, it's getting license plates. And that means it's got to have headlights. It's got to have functioning instrumentation. It's got to have good brakes. It's got to be safe, and it's got to be usable. And I'm going to drive the hell out of it. If I get it that far, it's going to be a daily driver. So because always, otherwise it's just going to be a yard car, and that's not really the point. And if we're doing this, I want to go pick up Tom in the thing, and we're going to driving him to the bank, and I'm getting my $5. So Nicholas has a good question. Why don't you do start to finish compilation videos of all your builds? I was just talking to our friend Kyle yesterday about this. He has done that, and they did fairly well. And I've been considering it. Multiple reasons. A, it would take probably a 50-hour week for me to edit those builds down into a single hour. And B, the way YouTube is now, and Kyle was just talking to me about this yesterday, every compilation video he's made has been ripped off and is published on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. And all of his work is making somebody else money. And I said, well, why don't they rip my videos off? And it's for the exact reason that you just pointed out, is that they are not compilation videos. So it's very hard to rip my videos off, or at least rather there's not really much point, because each one of them is a very small chapter in a very large, project. So it kind of put me off the idea of making these compilation videos, because somebody just rips them off and then they kind of butcher them up with an AI narrator and stuff. And here's the worst part, is that that's legal, and YouTube doesn't care if they do. Kyle got he tried to sort this out by filing a copyright complaint, and the person who butchered his video filed a counter complaint and said that they had every right to it, and now Kyle is stuck. Basically, if he doesn't have a lawyer, then he is not going to go. And well, of course, I mean, the only person who's going to get paid is the lawyer. So that's something, and I have thought about that. But for me to take a week of work to make a compilation video, and it might do well, sure, but then I haven't gotten anything done. Like I just want to work on the cars. The whole reason I get up in the morning is to work on the cars. I could make more money doing YouTube 1,000 different ways, but I really just want to build my cars. And if anybody wants to watch, that's awesome. And I'm excited, and we get to hang out and do stuff like this, and which is amazing. 492 people hanging around with me. Like that's crazy. And so if we get to do stuff like that, that's terrific. But I can't let this become the central goal. Like the goal is not to be a famous YouTube person. The goal is to build my cars, and YouTube helps me do that. And I think it's interesting enough, and I really do try hard to make the best videos I can, because I'm not here to like waste people's time. So that's kind of so, and I'm always playing with that balance. Like I was just talking to Bun about, we used to do those cool little car animations and stuff, and that was a gigantic amount of work. The videos got the same number of views, and it just took 10 hours a week away from the working on the cars. So I had to stop doing it. I would like to still do it, but if it in the end is only taking away from the prime directive, then it has lost its original intent. So it's and same with not having a show per se. If I have to wake up every week and try and think of some dramatic thing I'm going to do, you couldn't do it for 15 years. You just couldn't. Like it's hard enough to do it as it is, but at least I have an endless pile of garbage outside to keep myself busy. So that's kind of, and I do think about them, and that's why I'm happy to answer these questions, because I've asked myself all of those questions. And so it's cool that you guys see these things as well. And I've asked myself many of the same questions that you would ask. So, thank you for the question. I think it's very good. Let me see. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to skip ahead. Anything I've already answered, if it seems like I'm ignoring you, it's because I answered it already. So I'm sorry, just for the benefit of all the other people who are here. I can't answer the same questions more than once. It's just not fair to the other people. So thank you all so much for stopping in. Sorry. Let's see. Jay Van says, I like the artsy stuff, like Light Buzz intro and all the bumper music and the green scene stuff. Yes, I like that too. I actually was a bit sad that I did a classic tire episode for this week's video with Kyle, and we had a lot of special effects and green screen stuff, and really enjoyed it. And then the computer burned down and I lost it all. So I'm going to try to salvage what I can. And we're going to be doing more of that stuff. I really do like the stuff that looks like 1980s local cable TV. That was kind of the goal. So hopefully my brand new, the other thing that happened is when I lost the computer, I lost the editing program I've been using. So I downloaded the new version of that, which of course anybody who's updated any kind of software knows that the new version of whatever you were used to is completely different, way harder, and just makes things worse. So I will be struggling with the software for the first little while as well, but we'll get through it. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, we'll be getting back to that. I've got a great Light Buzz episode coming up soon as well. And like I say, a classic tire episode with any luck this weekend. And yes, we'll keep at it for sure. Jeff had a great question. Will we be seeing the 59 Buick move forward in the near future? Yes, absolutely. I've been kind of taking the summer to do a bit on the Chevy because it sat all last winter while we worked on the Buick. It is kind of tricky to balance 3 or 4 or 5 massive restoration projects without one seeming like it's being ignored. Just most of this summer has netted me 1 quarter panel on that 60 Chev. So With when you combine that with running the channel as a half-assed business, and the calendar and the photography and the hardware problems and just running the crumbling old acreage here, I don't get as much time on the cars as I really want. But I guess I didn't get any time before, so as much as I might sometimes be a little down on how much time YouTube is taking, it certainly allows me a lot more time than I ever had when I had a square job. Because then you really don't, you don't get, I was getting almost nothing. So I'm really happy that YouTube is, even if it allows me a couple of days a week to just get up like I did yesterday. I was just like, okay, I'm so pissed at all this computer stuff. I just went outside and I worked on the Impala all day. And it was the best part of my week. Just to get out there and just, okay, I'm just going to hammer stuff. I'm not going to think about all this other bullshit. I'm just going to hammer things, and I'm going to walk out of here knowing that at least something I did went well and moved ahead, even if everything else just went to hell this week. So we'll keep moving ahead. And excuse me. Darren asks, are you working on the house as well? Yes. You guys met our friend Gary, who helped with the shed there. He also helped a lot on the house last year. And we are working on the house again this year. The front porch is falling off, and so that needs to be redone. We did the roof last year, and we took the addition off the house. There was an addition put on probably in the 50s or 60s, and it was not done nearly to the standard of the original house, and it was falling apart and moldy and rotten. So we just decided, since it was just me and Bun, that we would take the extra 2 bedrooms off, and it has just been the best decision. Like, the house looks so much better. It's back on its original profile, and it's a cute little square house, and it looks great again. And the addition was really just hacked on there. So funny thing I learned was it takes way longer to take an addition off than to put it on. They probably put it up in 3 days, and it took us most of the summer to get rid of it. So that's something that I am working on as well. Yeah, the house is also a crumbling ruin, and the yard is, and the blah blah. So we're yeah. I don't take days off. If anybody's wondering, there are no days off around here. So J Van is Gary Agent 2112. Yes. And there's other Gary Agent 900, who's my machinist friend. And so there's 2 Garys. And yes, Gary Agent 2112 helps with the house and the shop. And he just bought that lovely Barracuda. And we will be picking at the Barracuda probably when the driving season winds down. Robert Shemery, thank you for the Robert. Did your trunk floor ever arrive? No, not very happy with Impala parts, or whatever their name is. They will be getting, they'll be getting a note from me. Literally don't have time to even write to them right now. Oh, there's Gary. He's texting me. So that's, yeah, some days you got to leave the camera in the house. Yes. Oh, Jeffrey says the shed looks fantastic. Yeah, thank you. We're very, very happy with that for something that was really a kind of a very spur of the moment thing that somehow turned into. I checked it. It's been 5 or 6 years since I tore down the old building to start the new building, and we had it up in the first year and roofed it the second year, and then the last few years have been spent doing the kind of the infrastructure around it. And then last year we finally got the gravel done with Justin, and we got the hoist in. And then this year, finally, the whole thing is finished. So, and very, very happy with it there. So, Josh, Barb, thanks very much. Aren't we all crumbling structures? Well, I certainly can speak for myself. Yes. And, making sure I'm not getting too far behind here. Eugene had a fun question. Is the Volvo officially too nice for winter beater? Yeah, kinda. once I realized that it was going to turn out really quite nice, I'll probably just still use my truck, and then Bun and I have her van if there's something that we need to do. The Volvo will be plated all winter, and if it's a nice day, I'll use it, but there's no point in just destroying it with salt. I'm kind of hoping that car will last me the rest of my life, and I don't use it much, but it's sure nice to hop in. Like if I have to go sit in traffic somewhere to get somewhere, just like we said in the video, it's it's nice to not stare at the temperature gauge every time the light turns red. Like I love driving the Citroën and the other little junkers and all that stuff, but when you're stuck in a 3-mile backed up traffic jam, it's nice to just sit there with the radio on and, whatever, the car's fine. You're not worried about it. So, Darren seems to be interested in me finishing the $5 Roadster. Yeah. Well, I think it's time. I really think it is. I really want to. I've been talking to Miles and Ash, and they all seem very typically optimistic about our chances of getting that done. It was not, again, we're not trying to make a showpiece. I think if we just hammered on it, maybe we go like 30 days and just all out every day, go as hard as we can, maybe all through December or January or whatever, and just there, done. I'd really like to see that finished. So, Stephen there's Stephen. Cheers, Stephen. The bike ride looked like fun. Yes, that was fun. And it was great to catch up with the legendary 533. And we went for quite a terrific weekend and very hectic. We didn't sit around at all again. It was the whole thing. There was no relaxing, but it was good. It was good stuff. Yeah. Swarty's Garage asked, have we ever thought about finishing the Chevy Custom? Yeah, I would like to. I don't know if I mentioned, probably have. Justin is half owner in that. So it would be up to him. Either sell it to me or buy it from me, or we get together on it and we decide on a plan. It's actually a very buildable car. It runs well enough. The body is reasonably solid, but it has 7 coats of old paint that have to come off, and it would need, it needs a complete body job and interior and so it's a big job, but it's certainly not an insurmountable job, and it's a pretty nice car. So I would like to put it together. Yeah, but we'll see. Again, that's not it's not going anywhere. It's not getting any worse. It's in good shape, and we keep it dry and start it up. I'll probably start it in the next couple of weeks here and just drive it around again. Everything but the kitchen sink asked, no more classic darts. Well, no, I think trying to get the boys over. They're both so busy. Al working full time pretty much with Jim and Matt, and and with his own life, and Justin working full time on his farm, and their paths don't really cross outside of here. So it's something that I would love to do, even if we do 1 or 2 a year. I'm happy just to get to hang out with the fellas. I certainly enjoy doing it. It's a gigantic editing job, classic darts, and it's not for everyone, but it's part of the reason we like to do it. Is it's in a world where everything is designed to appeal to the Discovery Channel audience, I like doing something that would never ever be considered for television. So Brian asks, hi Scott, will you start the blue Dodge next to the fence soon? Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. That could be something that we could do in a day or two and have that car, cleaned up. I don't know if it's worth trying to put it on the road given the number of projects I already have going, but it would sure be nice to be able to hop in that thing and move it, start it up and drive it around. Right now I know that the engine is good, and I did have it running a couple of years ago, but for the love of one transmission bushing, the car is immobile right now. Oh, there's John. Hey, hello from Chicago. I'm the guy asking about hammering out patch panels working on a 72 Mustang. Oh, very good, John. I guess with the 72 Mustang, if there's anything you can't buy, I don't really know what it would be. Certainly, that would be a car where I would not be afraid to buy panels. The reason I make so many panels is because you can't buy them. But yeah, it's all very, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Doug says that the Volvo video and beard transformation was a hoot. Well, thanks, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I tried to make that into a short, and then I realized that short videos have to be on this phone format, and I'm just like, I just can't be bothered. So, again, there's 1,000 ways I could try to gin up the YouTube audience, but I'm just, we're doing what we're doing. How much, I have the best audience on this format that a person could ask for. So I'm not really going to chase the 40-second attention span crowd, when we have projects that take 5 years, doing a 40-second edit of it really just diminishes the commitment that it took. And I really don't really care about people's 40-second attention spans liking my video. I just don't care. Those people can go watch whatever else is on that. I was not happy to see YouTube chasing that basically garbage audience, but whatever, they can have it. I don't care. Is the SM this winter? Maybe. Well, the SM is always idling in the background. I guess the thing is that really, from a realistic point of view, compared to the Buick and the Impala, both of which are complete garbage and massive, massive jobs, the SM is relatively easy. It's got a beautiful interior. It already runs. I drove it in there. All it needs is tires and a paint job, all it needs. But that's a car that's going to not be getting a $50 paint job. I want the paint to be good on that car. And, it's also substantially rustier than it at first looks. The bottoms of the doors are a massive project just on their own. So I do have to really, and again, as we touched on earlier, if you got 4 projects going and people really like 2 of them and they really don't watch the other 2, and 15 years of doing YouTube, I know what people want to see. So the SM has to be, as much as I would like to just finish it, plus I'm blowing hot air on it and the Roadster every day, and I don't even hardly use that half of the garage because those 2 boat anchor projects are in there. So yeah, I'd like to finish it just so I could have my garage back. But again, it's funny to me, but I guess, the work is the same. It's the same whether I'm building panels for the SM or building panels for the Impala. It's kind of the same thing, but one video people will watch and the other one people won't. So all else being equal, if you're trying to make a living at YouTube, you do the projects that people who watch your channel are most into. And so it means that for better or worse, the SM gets done. It is getting done. I made good progress this year on the front end of that car. That was probably the biggest single job on the car, and it's why I haven't taken the rest of the car apart, because I told myself when I got that car, like, just build the first 6 inches of this car before you even touch the rest of it. So I did. So that's done. So I kind of have given myself the green light to do the doors and quarters. I even considered just butching it together just for the sake of getting it on the damn road. But then I just don't know if I'd be happy with that, because there's very few good ones, and I would like to have a good one. So anyhow, so that's kind of yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Sorry, I guess I got stalled on the chat there, and now I don't know where we are here. So how long did it take to make the Volvo video? Oh, we did it in one afternoon. Yeah, it didn't take very long at all. Oh, that's not true. We probably spent the previous day Yeah, I spent a day doing the drone shots and the exterior shots, and then we spent an afternoon doing the interior shots and the editing. So that didn't go. Hmm? Yeah, and 5 years to grow the beard, says Bun. Yes, fair play. Took 5 years and 2 days. It was shaved exactly 5 years to the day after I started growing it. So that was kind of fun. Motor Town, the cleanup in the yard looks good. Well, thank you. Yes, we were making a bit of an effort to keep the place a little tidier. It is very difficult with this many old cars and this many projects going simultaneously, plus helping on all your friends' cars. It is difficult to keep things from getting out of control. And there's a pile of tools in every corner where there's been a car, there's a pile of tools. So. Dennis Cole, good question. Where's Laura's Rover? Well, it's at Laura's house. It was sent back there after I finished painting it for them to do the wiring, interior, and install the engine, and then it was going to come back here. And as far as I know, they got the wiring done. All the sound deadener is in. The engine's on a stand, and it's been gone through, but it is not fully assembled, and it's not back in the car yet. And I kind of said, you guys, why don't we stop pretending that you're going to find the time for this 1,000-hour project and get Stephen on the job, because Stephen has a great shop at his place. And I said, Stephen's one of a tiny number of people I would trust to put the drivetrain together in this car. I said, if he gets it running and we get it back here, I just didn't want people trying to put the engine in when there's like a 300 hours into each fender on the car. So I thought, let's get the thing driving, get it back here. Then I'll put the body together. I'll probably spray it one more time after it's together. And then we'll finish with the moldings and everything. There's still a lot of work to do on it, even though the structure of the car is finished and it's ready to go back together, but it's a massive job. So then Laura started with her cabin project, which is not exactly a small job either. So because they're both so busy, I was kind of like, maybe we should consider that you might want to get some help putting this lovely car together so that you can still drive when you get it. So I'm hoping that's how it's going to go. I know Stephen will do a fantastic job, and even if he gets a few hours a week, it's more than it's getting now. And once it gets back here, I'm going to want it done as quickly as possible because I've got 10 of my own cars in line yet. So Darren asked if I'm getting paid for commercials. Yes, otherwise I wouldn't put them in. Sometimes I get demonetized because somebody said a naughty word or somebody didn't like the way whatever. And then there's no commercials. So that's great. But, and believe me, I don't like the commercials. If I could get enough people on Patreon, I would run this channel with no commercials at all. They put about 30 ad breaks in my video and I delete all but about 8. And I believe I put them every 8 minutes. And, but if you notice, if you watch a lot of other channels, there'll be ads every 2 minutes or whatever. I mean, YouTube is relentless with the ads now. And yeah, skip them, if somebody send me $5 and skip every ad for the rest of the year, like honestly, that's literally how little I get paid from the ads. So don't feel bad skipping them. But I watch other channels, and if I like their channel a lot and I skip their ads because I hate the ads, I just sign up for the Patreon. I literally do. I put my money where my mouth is. And if I like a channel, I patronize it and I send them $10 a month and I skip every ad and I watch all their videos and I never feel bad because I know how much work goes into making them. And that's the best way to do it. Or some people are contributing here today. That's fantastic. This kind of thing. Yeah, like if you guys send me a few dollars, skip every ad. I make so little off the ads. I don't care. I hate the ads. I wouldn't buy anything that's advertised on this channel, probably. I don't even watch them. So yeah, don't ever feel like you have to watch the ads so that I get paid. Like, if you sit through all those stupid ads, I make 1 cent. So like I say, if the guy sends me $5, skip the ads for the rest of the year, or buy a t-shirt and skip the ads for the rest of, you know what I'm saying? There's so little money in that advertising that I would never tell people to sit through that bullshit. do not bother. Thank you. Junks Automotive. Speaking of extremely generous patrons of this channel, Mike at Junks Automotive, you guys should probably go subscribe because he's pretty awesome. What time of the day do you get up, drink coffee, and start your day? And when's bedtime? Well, I'm usually probably up about 17 hours a day. I get up whenever I want, and I go to bed whenever I want. Sometimes I go to bed. If I'm editing, I'm up till 8 o'clock the next morning. But regular days, I don't know. Yeah, I'm up at 10 and I'm up till 2:30, whatever, So, yeah, but I get up and we have breakfast, and first thing is you got to walk Frankers. That's the first thing that happens. And then probably walk Frankers before we have breakfast. Coffee. There it is. Coffee, Frankers, breakfast, fuck around with cars. Bed. That's it. That's every day, except for Fridays and part of Thursdays, which are editing. William Christmas, can't wait till you start the Fury Wagon. Well, thank you so much. Yes, I would love to start the Fury Wagon. It's another one that's on the list. I wanted to get that running this year. We will see. It's the problem with the Fury Wagon is I could have that subframe swapped in a weekend. But, excuse me, the thing is, while I've got that whole drivetrain out of the Newport, it does seem a bit silly to just slam it in the other car without cleaning it, painting it, paint the frame, do a timing chain, do a water pump, do all the shit that's going to be so much harder to do once it's installed in the other car. And then if you're going to do that, then it kind of has to come out of the car. Now it has to go inside somewhere and has to be put on a stand and it has to get cleaned up. And so it's you either slam it in there and say, okay, whatever, it's gonna have manifold leaks and it's gonna be greasy and it's gonna be ugly, or you do it, a little more properly, but then it's no longer a weekend job. And I just have had so many jobs on the go. And should I really be starting a car when I have the SM, the Roadster, and the Buick, and the 25 Dodge, and the 50 or 60 Chevy, all of which are massive shit piles that take 1,000 hours each? Should I really be starting another car? And yes, probably. So part of me says, yes, you should at least get it running. So don't do the timing chain. Don't clean it up. Don't fix anything. Don't do any of that. And just slam it in there, just so at least now you can get in and turn the key and move it around. And that's a legitimate, that's a legitimate viewpoint as well. So because at least then you're getting something done, because the clean it up and do a cam and chain and put a 4-barrel and let Miles and Ash get after it. That's makes for a better car, but it makes for a car that maybe I don't start this year then. So I'm still, I think about this stuff a lot, because I want to start on every car, but I'm not going to be the guy that dies and has 20 unfinished cars that go right in the crusher, because that's what happens to unfinished cars, is they become garbage. So if I start it, I'm going to finish it. And so since I already have 4 or 5 underway, plus maintaining 14 drivers at this point, it's not like I get up and sit in the rocking chair and think about what I wish I could have, what I wish I had something to do. Like, none of that is happening. So plus the house, plus the yard and the dog and the, all of it. It all takes gigantic amounts of time. So yeah, I don't know. Did that answer the question? Probably not. Maybe it did. I hope it did. Thunderbird 1968. Thank you so much, man. There's you can skip 699 ads. Thanks so much, buddy. Hey Scott, buyers over Timmy's. How old's your house? My house, I can actually answer that question. It was built in 1937. And the one directly west of you is built in 25. Yes, that one was built partially in 25, and then an addition put on later. That was Bob's old house. Yes, it's actually Bob's daughter lives there now, which is really cool. Very nice folks. I've met them a few times. So yeah, my house was a catalog house, and I think it was a Sears or a Canadian version of a Sears catalog house. And the best part of it is that the name of this model of house was the Plymouth. So it's actually a 1937 Plymouth. So I can say that I live in a 37 Plymouth, which is actually older than my actual oldest Plymouth, which is a 41. So Why did you name your friends agents? Fair question. It was basically because this place and certainly the earlier videos were a little rougher around the edges and in the presentation. And it was so that I didn't have to use anybody's real name and therefore somehow affect their future prospects at employment or whatever. I was just, let's just give everybody an anonymous kind of name out of respect for their own privacy, and maybe, you know, yeah, it was basically that. Just, and plus it was kind of just a fun thing and a kind of a slightly subversive thing, which is kind of what we've always tried to do. And the channel was predated by a blog I had where it was a fictitious kind of alternate universe where I was the head of this gigantic corporation and this bureaucratic nightmare, and I was like this insane alcoholic Howard Hughes kind of figure who had control over this gigantic empire of junky old cars. And so I originally started the YouTube channel thinking it might drive some traffic to the blog, and then the YouTube channel did better than the blog, so I kind of stopped with the blog. But because who reads anymore anyway? So that's kind of how that came about, and I just kind of went with it because for the same reasons. It's like nobody needs to know my friends' names, and nobody like it. That's all. It was just a fun thing that kind of gave everybody their anonymity, and now of course everybody, you know, they're still appearing on the show, but that's all. I just kind of thought out of respect for people's privacy that we wouldn't use their names, at least, you know, in print, so to speak. So I guess I could have just used their first names, but even then, I just kind of thought it was funny. That's all. Usually I will ask them to just pick a number between 1 and a million, and that'll be their number. And then nobody's said, oh, that's dumb, I'm not doing that. Most people are happy. It's like, okay, well, my number is 533 or whatever. So anyhow, Dennis Cole, oh, already answered that, Dennis. Sorry, buddy. As I said at the beginning, because it's so hard to keep up. If I've answered something, I can't answer the same questions over and over again. Everything but the kitchen sink asks, when's the mail call? Well, it'll be whenever I can get to it. It tends to be very spontaneous. I can't. The other thing with doing this show with all these guys and it's all your friends and stuff is it can't start to feel like anybody's job. As soon as I'm on the phone and be like, hey, you got to get over here because we got to film them, then people are just going to stop coming. It can't be. It has to be like, hey, we're working on Miles's car and Ash is here helping, and Justin stopped in. It's like, wow, there's 3 guys here. Let's run upstairs and open some mail. And if we have time, and if we're busy working and it's like, well, I got to get this done because I really wanted to film this today. And then by the time we're done, everybody's exhausted and goes home. Okay, well, there was 4 guys here and we didn't get to the mail. So it is, as much as I love the mail and I love opening it and I love getting it, it is, I like to sit down and I like to be able to go through it and I like to film it and I like to be able to edit it. And I used to do, a lot more of it because I thought it was really fun and I thought we did a good job of it. But when you have a YouTube channel, you can see what people watch and what they like and what they skip past. And if people are just skipping past it and it's yet the most intensive part of the editing process, then I have to dial it back. And so I have, as much as I would, I would do a show of opening mail every week. I think it's super fun, but the videos, if I do a show of just opening mail, those videos don't get really any views. So it's, I'm trying to balance what I want to do and what I enjoy with what actually is the recipe for success, which I more or less ignore as often as possible. So I hope that answers. Dan Hale asks, are you going to do the Victoria? Well, it's easy to say yes. What I'm going to do with the Victoria is I'm not going to let it get any worse. It's certainly in better hands now than it has been for the last 50 years. It's running and driving and complete. There's a battery in it and you can turn the key and start it up, and that's where it's going to sit for now. I would love to see either my brother or Ashley take it on. I don't think I'm going to do it for me as much as I would like to. I have to be a little bit realistic. I have already got 5 years worth of car projects underway. So, like to pretend that I can knock off these cars in a few months is just not realistic. So, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. As much as I love the car, I would, if my brother would build it, I would give it to him. But he's also, he's busy. He's got his motorcycle collection and his, and a lot of other things on the go as well. So it's not the best thing I could do for a lot of these cars is I just hold on to them, keep them clean, keep them in good hands, and keep them complete. And I buy parts for them, and like, I bought a whole parts car for that 51 Chev, and I stripped it all. I put all the extra parts in the back, and so whatever becomes of that car, if I don't get to it, then the next person who does get the car gets it in way better shape than I did, with all the missing pieces already included. And so that's kind of a stewardship that I will offer to these cars, even if I don't get to do the restoration on them. So I hope that answers the question. I tried to do my best, even with the ones that I can't follow through to the very end. So Josh Barba, thanks very much. Where's Dean? Misses the greasy flips. I do too. I miss Dean and the greasy flips. But as I say, I answered that, and there's certain behavior that is not going to be tolerated on a show about classic cars. So I will leave that to you guys. Let's see. CTG says shorts suck. Is that the CTG? I think it is. CTG, do you guys have a channel too? I'm not sure if that's an acronym. Anyway, sorry, we won't dwell on. Yeah, Junks Automotive says, don't do shorts. They screw you in the end. Trust me, I found out. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll tell you what, if I end up doing any shorts, I'm sure not putting a lot of effort into them. But I've just never been out doing something. But you know what I'm going to do is film this with a camera holding it the wrong way and then put it up for people with no attention span. I just can't be arsed. Like, I do not care about that audience. I have the best audience. So sorry guys, it screwed up on me here. I gotta jump back up. It looks like, oh, I did miss that. No, I didn't, but I just got to it. That's how far behind I am, guys. Sorry. Richard Parsons sent $40. Richard, you are a madman. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I'll even try harder to keep up the good work. And you just paid for part of my new computer, so thanks very much. They are not cheap anymore. I guess that, you know what though? Funny thing, I went yesterday, I was expecting worse, to be honest. And I paid whatever. I paid, let's call it $1,500 for this computer. It's nothing fancy. And that's because I already have the monitor and the keyboard and all that other bullshit. I just needed the box with the smart parts in it there. When I was 11 years old, I worked for 3 years delivering papers to buy a Commodore 64. And I think it was something near $800 at the time. So I guess relatively, computers are just about free now. So I'm not complaining about that, really. It's part of the game. You're going to make videos. You're going to run your computer processor at full throttle for 15 years at a time. Then it's going to break. And she broke, whatever. It'll go in the pile with the other dead computers and next to the pile of dead cameras. I got a big graveyard of cameras that have broken and run over the years. It's the way she goes. So very much appreciated, Richard. Thank you so much, buddy. J. Van says that the SM is notorious for being a project car, even when you tell your friends it's finished. Yeah, the thing with the SM is they are definitely the angry stepchild of any car collection. They demand a gigantic amount of attention. So yeah, it'll never really be finished, and it's going to be one that, okay, if I get that car to where everything is working, everything is done, and there's nice shiny paint on it, and it's really, really nice, that's going in the garage, and it's coming out a couple times a year to go around. I actually have a road trip in mind with the SM. I want to drive it. I want to take it on like a 10-day drive through the mountains, and then I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to put it in the garage and be like, there, mission accomplished. Go back to driving my DS. Citroën DSs are just hammers. People have this thing that, oh, French car, it's got to be unreliable. That thing has been an absolute hammer, and I do not pamper it. It gets to the lumberyard, down gravel roads. It gets driven in mud. I don't care. That thing is an absolute hammer. So the DS will still be a daily. But the SM, when it's finally finished, when it's finally not broken and painted, it'll be on very light duty. Nice thing about having so many cars is that the more delicate or precious ones can, you can get by, drive it 3 or 4 times a year, keep the tires from getting flat spots. You got to circulate, you got to use them a bit. But I've got multiple cars that I'm happy to just drive every day, and the DS is one of them, and the little Renaults, and the what's that thing out there, the 61 Plymouth Belvedere. That thing's a hammer too. The Fraser's a hammer, and 10 years at least this summer I've been driving that. So Lincoln Maniac says, don't change a thing, love the channel, been watching since hotboxing the classics. That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to do more of that. I don't think it would fly today. I don't think anything fun flies on YouTube anymore. Hotboxing the classics, I really thought that would catch on. I was wrong. It was like my least popular video at the time, and I was kind of sad about that because I thought it was really funny. So anyway, we have to hotbox the classics on our own time now, I guess. Let's see. Sorry, guys. There's so many questions. I think I already asked, or yes, about the Sport Suburban. Yes, I kind of answered that, I hope. Hello from Vermont. Sad bastards got to go to bed. See you Saturday. Thanks very much. Oh, another vote for $5 Roadster. You should set a Amazon wish list for the parts of your project. Well, that's very kind, Ted. Well, I wouldn't want to do that because I would hate to think that somebody would send me something thinking that it was going to be on the car right away, and then the car still needs 5 years of welding and stuff. So I kind of try to be, okay, well, what am I going to do in the next couple of months, and then buy those parts. And when the parts show up, we'll go through them pretty quick. Eugene, thank you so much. Eugene White says, excuse me, because of the show, I bought my first welder, several more horrifying project cars, and a second dog, and I could not be more grateful. That's very kind of you, and that's just a list of excellent decisions right there. Brian asked, what is UTG on my hat mean? I thought everybody knew. That's Uncle Tony's Garage. I've actually been lucky enough to do a couple of live shows with Uncle Tony, and I regret that when we did them, we ended up talking to each other pretty much the whole time and didn't get enough chance to answer questions. And because, it's like talking with somebody you feel like you've kind of already, I've never met him before. And the first time I ever spoke to him was on those live shows. So it's kind of like meeting somebody somewhere and you're like, oh, this guy, and you can talk to somebody and it was really fun. And I was a little intimidated, of course, because I don't really know anything about going fast, right? All my cars are slow and old and whatever. But I think it was really gratifying to get to finally talk to Uncle Tony and realize that we're really just both into cars, and we're both into living your life the best you can. And so that means, that it was nice to know that we could get along on that level, because I wouldn't know nitromethane if it blew up on me. So it was really cool, and I hope to get to do it again sometime. Let's see. What year is the Buick that Bun's fixing up? Oh, that is a 1950. That is a 1950 Roadmaster, the short wheelbase Roadmaster touring sedan. Actually, a pretty rare car. And I didn't know that she really was into it. And then, I don't know, did Tom put you up to that Roadmaster, Bun? Or?
No.
No, you just...
Because you were talking about it that time when you said you could use the parts for the other Buick.
Yeah.
You said it's a pretty good car, and then I was like, well.
Yeah, no, she was sad that I wanted to use it for a parts car, and so I think she's taking it upon to rescue it, which is excellent. And so yes, the biggest problem with that car, because the rest of it is not really too hard. We can do the seats, and the body is actually pretty straight. It needs rockers. It needs the hood hinges fixed. We'll get Randall up here for that, and it needs a quick paint job. You want to do it back to the silver gray color?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it back maybe to the original silver gray. It was painted green probably sometime in the 80s, we think. So that is a nice little project, and it's not going to be a life ruiner. I bet you that car is still registered somewhere, so I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with the paperwork on it, and be very nice to see a straight eight Dynaflow car. Plus, I have the 1959, so we can kind of bookend the 1950s with those two Buicks. So, let's see. Sorry, guys, I have to skip ahead a tiny bit. D Wood seemed, enjoy the chats you have with Uncle Tony's garage. Yeah, me too. Will there be more? Yeah, it's up to them. I mean, I'm not comfortable in, and it's not really protocol to invite yourself onto somebody else's thing, especially when the other channel is vastly more successful than yours. So I will certainly, anytime that they ask, yeah, I'd be happy to. It's very easy to talk to them, and we just have good chats, and it's super fun. And some technological differences. Sheldon. Well, sorry, Sheldon. I don't think there's any problem on this end. So, yeah, a couple guys mentioned weird beard. I don't know. I hope all is well with Mike. I've only communicated with him through through videos and stuff, and I think he's just a terrific fellow, and I hope that he's doing well. I don't remember the last video I saw of his, but it was he seemed to have taken a break, and then he was back, and then he was doing a half-ton complete paint. Yeah, so I think I think all's well there, but I would never answer for him. I hope he's well. Somebody asked what happened with the town taking Laura's property. Well, they passed the zoning change, so it means that property, that whole area, is now zoned commercial. The thing is, they're not going to take the property. The plan is to put an arena next to it, which would make the property no longer viable as a farm because of the amount of traffic and chaos that would cause. So it wasn't really taking it so much as rendering it no longer usable as a farm. And so that was what we were fighting about, was the zoning, but the zoning passed. The thing is that the decision to try and put a hockey arena there was also kind of foolish anyway, because there was no access, and it's right next to a railroad track. So you couldn't even, how are you going to get thousands of cars in and out of that parking lot? You just simply, it was a bullshit thing anyway. I stay out of it as much as I can, but didn't mean I wasn't mad. And there's a certain amount of politics that they'll put up with, but dishonest politics is not okay. And so they have another piece of property. They have a contingency plan, but the original reason for the rezoning was at best, a bit of a pie in the sky thing. So we'll see. Clayton, Mr. Model T, a short list of cars want to see done are the 40 Dodge, 59 Viscount, 51 Limo, Roadster, 41 Plymouth Sportster, and Wagon, and the Hudson with the 308 Twin H. Well, those are all a fine list of cars. I would say that the Limo of those would probably be the closest, followed by the Roadster and the 41 Plymouth. Or no, the Roadster would be the closest, followed by the 41, and then the Limo. The Sports, I guess the Wagon too. The 40 Dodge, the thing with that car is that you can buy a good one for about $7,500, and I know because there was a good one for sale and I don't mean sort of bad grandpa restoration. I mean original paint, 30,000 mile car, $7,500, and they had trouble selling it. It might even still be for sale. So for me to tackle the one I have, would just be, especially since I'd have to buy a better one just to get a better grill. And the best one in the world is $7,500. So, I mean, I'm not a money guy. I'm not like, oh, it's not worth enough. But it's like, well, when you consider that you have 50 cars to do and they all take roughly the same amount of time, you might as well do the ones that you could never afford a good one. One of the reasons I'm doing a 60 Impala is that a good one of those I would never be able to own because I will never have enough money to spend what a good 60 Impala costs. Ditto the 60 Fury, a nice two-door hardtop 60 Fury is just not ever going to be in my price range. So I'm happy to build one. So I kind of look at it that way. If I can afford a good one, I'll buy a good one. But most cars, I can't afford a good one. The SM, I could never afford a good one of those, but I can afford a rusty one, and I know how to weld. So Nathan says, "Hi Scott, your 67 Fury is one of my favorite. Never heard much about it though. How it came to be. Tell us how it well, I bought that car when I was in grade 11, and that's kind of, I got it from my great aunt. They had taken it away from her because she was too old to drive, and she had kind of banged it into everything. So it had very low miles on it, but it was quite, the sides of it were all scraped up and the moldings were all bent and buckled. And that's one of the reasons there's no moldings on it today, is that when I got the car, I took them all off way back then. So I had that car and I drove it for a few years after I painted it in like grade 12 or just after high school. I painted it and I drove it for a while, and let's see what happened. Then I bought my 61 Belvedere that I also still have. So I parked the 67 Fury because I wanted to drive the Belvedere because it was a freak show car. And so I drove the Belvedere for many years, and the Fury just sat around. And then when I bought this place, the Fury was getting pretty down at the heels. So I put the Fury in the garage and I rebuilt it all and put it back together and gave it kind of a custom paint job and wheels and lowered it and all that stuff that I wish I wanted to do when I was in high school, or that I had wanted to do, but didn't have the resources for mags and, all that metal flake and all that shit. So I put it back together just because I had dragged it around with me for so long. So that's how I come to have that car. And that's how it came to be a mild custom car. And like so many of them, I drive it just enough to keep it from going bad. I don't want to ever put enough miles on it that I ever have to put a windshield in that car again. That probably took me 3 days to put the windshield in and get all those moldings back on. I was just so terrified the whole time. And I was just like, I'm like, if I break this windshield, I'm gonna burn the whole thing. So that car, I just keep it around. I wouldn't buy one today, not that I don't like them, but I have, there's lots of cars out there. But that was kind of my high school car, and thought it was pretty cool back then. And it was a 2-door, and so I kept it around, and I still have it. Andy's Fairlane, he had at the same time, that blue Fairlane that you see my brother driving. He bought that when he was in grade 11, and he still got it. We rebuilt that about maybe 10 or 15 years ago now. Well, at least probably 12 anyway, something like that. So, Bill Kemper, thank you so much. Bill sent me $20. You can skip the next 2,000 commercials, Bill. Cheers, buddy. How do you keep critters from consuming your cars? Well, in the barn, it's not too bad. I don't really have the ones that are inside. I have pretty good luck with. I keep mouse traps, and I think there's the odd stray cat that can get into the barn, so it kind of keeps them down. And been pretty lucky. The outside cars, if they're anything, all the ones that are sitting outside, the interiors are shot anyway, so I don't really worry about them. It's not as bad as it could be. Like but I keep mouse traps in the trunk, underneath the front seat, and I always keep one on top of the engine. So that way they don't really last very long before, so they can't really chew up the wiring or whatever. I've actually been pretty lucky, and squirrels, Franker scares them off. No, she doesn't. We have the same squirrel for years. But he doesn't wreck anything, so whatever. One or two squirrels is fine. If we get thousands of them, that's a problem. Jay Vance had put the intake on the 67. Yeah, fair play. It's considered it, but I think the 67. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of done with it. Like, I keep it because it is what it is. I think the 60, honestly, of the two, the 60, the carburetor's not great. It could be better. So maybe it would go on the 60. Since that car is completely homemade anyway, I don't really feel compelled to preserve any particular part of it when it's completely made out of junk. So, Jay Robbins says, I like my t-shirts, by the way. Thank you very much for supporting the old junkyard here. James Almond, thank you so much, James. Cheat went premium a while back because I hate the ads, so do this from time to time. Yes, thank you very much, James. And yes, I don't have it personally premium, but I get it. The ads they're getting a bit stupid on YouTube. And you know what it used to be when YouTube, and there was an ad, it was like Larry and Sons Roofing, and it was two old guys, and it was an old F-150, and it was obviously filmed on a handy cam in somebody's driveway. And I was like, oh, you know what? Cool, good for them. They made an ad, and they're out there and they're doing their thing. But now the ads are it's just the same gigantic corporate bullshit that it's TV. And YouTube has become so close to TV now that there's hardly a difference. So, Josh Barber, thank you very much, Josh. $10 a month isn't shit for such entertainment. You can't buy a sandwich. Well, thank you very much, Josh. And yeah, skip those ads, buddy. I do monetize the show because it does help to pay the bills. And I would, I don't like it. I don't like it, but realistically, it's the only way that I don't have to take on dented customer bullshit, and it's the only way that I get my cars done. And so I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your patience if you do have to watch the ads. I sit through them too. I do, but if I can, if there's ones that I can skip, I'm like right there on that button. Skip. Where is it? Right there. Skip. But if you can't skip it, well, whatever. I very rarely will turn. Sometimes I'll turn a show off if there's ads every 45 seconds. I'm like, okay, screw you. This is bullshit. But most of the time, I put up with it. But I certainly, like I say, if I watch everybody's stuff, if I watch something, everything that a certain channel does, if I watch it all and I skip the ads, then I send them some money. And even if there's a half a dozen channels that like, oh my God, they put out a new video, I watch it, and so I'll send them some money because I know how much work it is to put out, a really well done video. Not that mine are, but I know what it would take to do a good one. So Steve CR says, finish the Impala first. Fair play. Uncle Mark's DIY. Hi, all from Manitoba. Doesn't recognize me. Yeah. You and a few other people went to the tractor show the day after I shaved, and nobody knew who was there, even all the friends I'd known for 20 years. Kevin Smith, happy birthday, Frankers. Did you hear that? Oh, she's having a nap. Poor Frankers. What is one car you feel you wasted money on and wish you'd never started? Well, I would say it was a long time ago. I had a 76 Newport that I got really cheap, and it was a pretty clean, low-mile car, but it was very rusty. And by the time I was finished it, I had bought a new windshield, new tires, got the bumpers done, and I spent a whole month welding it up and painting it and everything. And by the time it was done, I was like, great, now you have a really nice $3,000 car. So I learned a lesson on that one. And it wasn't that it was a bad car or that it let me down. It was a lovely car, but it wasn't like, for the amount of work that it was, I should have done something else. And so I'm a little more particular now. I like, and people, and I get a lot of this every time we start up one of the old junkers. Somebody says, well, you got to restore it. Like, well, I do, but that's what everybody said about these other ones too, that I've already started them. But when you say you got to restore it, it's like saying you got to go back to university and get a degree in biology. It's the same amount of work. So there's only so many university degrees you can pursue at the same time, like in terms of the hours that they take. So I'm a little more, now that I've learned that too, like, you know, it's very easy to get started on a project. And that's why, you know, and I certainly would probably make more money on YouTube if I did the first 10% of every car out there. And then, but then what? Then are they ever going to get done? No, you won't live long enough to finish 50 cars. So take care of the ones you're not going to do and finish the ones you are going to do. And so I kind of learned that with that Newport. It was a nice car, but it was not so nice that, you know, like that I was like really happy when it was done. It was like, well, okay, it's finally done. And then you start adding it up. You're like bumper, windshield, like tires, exhaust. Like, well, I could have done any one of these cars for that. So I'm a little more particular now. I mean, every car you see me working on is a car that I really want. Like, love the idea of having a 60 Impala, 59 Buick. I've wanted since I was 5 years old. SM, a car I thought I'd never get to have. Like, that car is like a spaceship to me. The Model T, a car I always wanted, like the 60 Fury, 59 Fury. Those cars are cars that I've wanted since I was a little kid. I guess the 37 Chevy was one that kind of came along, but that was a great case of, we put that together in one winter because I started with a decent example. So, but would I ever buy a scoop it up with a shovel 37 Chevy out of a field? No, because, if I'm going to scoop it up with a shovel, it has to be a car that I really, really, really want. So the Chev's lovely and I use it probably too much, but that one doesn't really count as a restoration. That was more of a fix up, SST Virginia, cheers, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Well, let's finish one before starting another. Yes. Let's see. I'm just seeing if I'm caught up here, you guys. Oh my God, I'm way out of room, eh? Dave says, you see me running out of room. Any plans for a bigger garage? Actually, kind of loosely planning not a bigger garage, but another garage. My garage is the barn, and it is kind of full. Yeah, kind of thinking about somewhere to keep some of the finished cars. Because when the SM's done, it's got to go somewhere. When the Roadster's done, it's got to go somewhere. The Impala's got to go somewhere. The Buick's got to go somewhere. It'd be nice to keep the Volvo inside. It'd be nice to keep Bun's car inside. Like, they all got to go somewhere. So I'm thinking like cold storage sometime in the next several years. Are going to have to come up with some kind of a 6-car cold storage situation. So what's up? You coming to say hello? Come on. Stick your head in front of the Wii camera. There it is there.
Hi.
That's all you get, you guys. She's not having it. Not going to answer any questions, eh?
I was just checking to see if you had enough water. Do you have
I got enough water. Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, that's Don Cotrona has a 38 Chevy half-ton. Oh, fantastic. Oh, you guys. Yes, plans for bigger garage. Sorry, I'm going to try Harry Blue Max. Great idea, Harry. Get a boat and run the vintage outboards. Actually, was kind of thinking that it might be a fun summer challenge to have like a naval battle kind of challenge where we would have to get boats for free and try to get them to do something. But it's not really a boating channel, and maybe that's something that only I would like to do. So the other thing is that there's very little spots around here, very few spots where a boat is like really. I have enough trouble riding my motorcycle, and all I got to do is go into the garage and get on it. And the boat is like hook it up to the trailer and drive with it. There's very few good boating spots. So if we were going to do a boat thing, it would have to be, pretty epic, but I wouldn't even know what to do with the boat at the end of the challenge, because I've had several boats, some pretty cool ones, but I always just sell them or give them away because they're, it's Alberta. There's where I live, at least in this part, there's some nice lakes around here, but they're 3 hours away. And I mean, I literally don't have time to ride my motorcycle. Where am I going to, we should do this morning is hook up the boat and drive 3 hours others to drive around and then put it back, drive, and it's never happening. So one day, Yeah, I think if I get serious about having a boat, I'd have to have somewhere where I had a piece of property and a little trailer on it, and then I would just have, there's my boat, and I could put it in the water and whatever. But so we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just going to have to spin ahead a little bit, guys, because I don't want to run out of time, and I haven't got to half of this yet. So, Total Nutter asked if you have plenty of, well, even though you have plenty of projects, is there any cars you'd have to buy if you found one? Oh, yeah. There's so many. So many. I mean, yeah, I guess there would be, I mean, I guess if we were talking about cars that are like, I want to have one day. Yeah. Well, I have all the Plymouths that I want. I got 57 through 61, and that's enough. I'm not going to, I figure, because I've had an opportunity to buy DeSotos, I've had opportunities to buy Chryslers and stuff of that same era, but I decided that if I'm going to have I really want all those Plymouths lined up in a row and be like, there, that was like, if I was 10 years old and I saw a guy with that, I'd be like, wow, that guy is cool. So still trying to impress my 10-year-old self, I guess. So, but cars I'd like to have, well, I've got a lot of the ones I've always wanted. I'll tell you what, I would want a Datsun 200 SX or an F10, because I had an F10 many years ago. I would like to have, so that would be my Japanese pick. 200 SX would be awesome. I'm kind of leaving that to Ashley to find me one. I'd like to have a Peugeot 504 diesel wagon, and I already have one. I'd like to have one that's not garbage. I'd like to have, if I ever found a 504 coupe, I mean, I never will, but if I did, I'd have to have that. If I found a 504 coupe, I would probably do whatever I had to do to get it. What else would I like? I'd like to get a car pre-1920, but, it would depend what it is, but, something like that, a Chalmers or whatever, something like that would be cool. I'd like to have cars from every decade. So if we could get one, and then maybe a curved dash Oldsmobile, but those are real money now. So, yeah, those are millions of cars. Every day I go on the ads, and I'm just like, oh, how do I not buy that? Just a junkie for cars, just a junkie. So, John Hollowell asked, can we still read the old blog? I think it's still up. Sure. Yeah. It's coldwarmotors.blogspot.com. I think. Sure. I think I still probably run it up in the credits. Actually, I haven't changed the credits in years. So yeah. And I think it stops about 2014. So David Erickson, thank you so much. Always cool content. Love the splices. So thank you. That's what we have, a couple more spliceroos coming up. Oh, there's the Menace. Hey, boo boo. You say hello. Whoops. There she is. What a nice girl. Want some pets? Oh, yes. Have you been drinking your water? That's very good. Miss Francine, just a doll. Graham Johnson bought a 41 Harley WLC flathead today. Oh, I would like it. You know who else would like it? The Matt at Strong's Garage would like it. And Dan would like it. And my brother would like it. But I would also like it. Shopcat says, so basically your blog became the reality. Yeah, in a fantastic instance of life imitating, bad art. Very good. How did Bun get her transmission building skills? She worked at an automatic transmission shop building Allison transmissions and really enjoyed it. So when we moved in here, I said we should set up a little transmission shop. And so we are having fun with that. So, excuse. Just going to try and. Eric Esterby asks, how's Miles doing on the 66 Monaco? Quite well. That's his brother-in-law's car, and I think it's coming back into his shop this winter. His brother-in-law took it home for the summer so Miles could use his own garage, and it's coming back this winter for body and paint. So we'll probably be catching up with that project with Miles. He's been focusing mostly on his own cars this year. And Gene Hassan Bueller, thank you so much, Gene, for hanging out with us for so long now. Gene, I recognize your name from so many years back. So many of you guys, actually. It's really quite alarming how many people have been sticking around with this silly thing for so long now. Can't wait to see the Datsun finished. Well, you won't have to wait much longer than this weekend, I hope. Well, we'll see if I get that far in the editing. As I said, I had to start over again. And I did film quite a bit of it. So we'll see if we get that far. But I can tell you that it is very close to finished as we speak. I'll put it this way. It was finished enough that we managed to do some photography for the calendar. So Brian, the old Jeep guy, speaking of guys that have been around forever on the show here, thank you so much, Brian. He says, take it easy. That's right, buddy. Let's see. Robert Krieg says he enjoys the review of the timepieces. Yes, I always enjoy that. Our friend Mark is a real aficionado and a collector of those, and so it's always a treat to see what he's got. And we'll see if we can get over here very soon here. Let's see. Ever think about sending some of your hoard to the scrapyard? No, not really. I mean, I've taken many cars to Clayton over the years, but they're, usually stuff that was bought as a parts car. And once I've done gutting it, everything, yeah, I mean, once I'm done with them, I'm going to be scrapping my Volvo parts car. But no, for the most part, certainly the stuff on the lot is way better than scrap. There's a few junkers in the back, parts cars that I will scrap after the, if I take the doors and the engine and the hood off of it, well, then that's all I wanted. It'll go. But I'm not really in a hurry to get rid of any of them. No. I mean, what would I do? I would just buy more cars, I guess. Kevin asked if we're Torino fuckery soon. Well, we'll see. That's up to Ash. What he's done is bought 2 projects while he's still finishing the first one. Well, the 7th one, he's bought 2 more. So it'll be really dependent on which car because the Torino needs probably 2 donor cars to get put together, and so does the fiberglass jobby. So it'll be a question of which project comes together. Ash is very much on the job with those. Like, even if he's working on one car, he's buying parts for the next one. So it'll be. But that Torino is rough enough that we're seriously considering a splice, we're seriously considering getting a 75, just because they're worth a lot less and you can buy a nice clean one, and then we could splice it with his. And that one he's got right now is so ragged. But 72 Sports Roof is the only Torino, to me, the only one to have. So we'll see how it goes, but he's really, really obsessed with that little fiberglass job right now too. So, and that would involve at least 2 donor cars to put that together. So I leave it to him because I got lots of my own shit to do. Yeah. Oh, there's Mexicans back. Cheers, buddy. Hi, Scott. Tony's finishing up right now. We're live. Oh shit! I wouldn't have done it at the same time as him. That's not meant to step on anybody's toes. That's too bad. Well, tell those guys hi and. Tell them to pop by for a few minutes if they want. We're coming up an hour and a half here, so whatever. Well, that's excellent. We were just talking about Uncle Tony's Garage and how much I enjoyed being on his live show. Have you considered consolidating the yards so you can make better quality builds faster? No. I don't even know what that means, consolidating the yard. No, I just build whatever I want whenever I want. Let me back up here because I don't want to miss out on anybody here. Sorry, guys. I guess I'm answering questions from ages ago. Sorry, did I miss a super chat? If I did, I'm so sorry. I do not like to do that. Here, I'm going to have to catch up because I might be so far behind that I'm missing out on these things. There's Thomas, $49.99. Thank you so much, buddy. Hey there from Tallulah the Bulldog and her servant Thomas in Louisiana. Well, that's very kind of you, Thomas. Thanks so much for pitching in and keeping the old show on the road here. If I missed anybody else, please somebody let me know, and I will certainly say thank you to them because that's not how we operate here. I guess I get a little chatty. Fun question. N1R0L Anonymous. What's the fastest car in the CWM fleet? I would put my money on the Volvo. I think, well, if we're counting Bun's van, it's way faster than anything else. The van is like 280 horsepower, and the Volvo is more like 180. So the van is a hammer. That thing is great. So she asked me once, what's the fastest car you've ever owned? And I said, this. We were driving the van. What year's the furniture in the background? Oh, that's a 1960. I have no idea. It's a 19 garage sale. That was mint before I had animals. I had the matching couch in the living room there. Yeah, not this. This is, we don't know what that is, but this one, the one that Frankers is on. Yeah, it's mid 60s, early 60s, kind of probably department store stuff. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, it was nice stuff before the animals destroyed it. But that's the way she goes. I'd rather have animals than furniture. So, Charlie Most, $5. Thanks so much, buddy. Just skipping the commercials. You keep on skipping them, buddy. Skip 500 commercials. I don't care. Thank you so much. ColdWarMotors. That's funny. Thank you. Is that a Jazz or a P-Bass in the background? That's a P-Bass. Well, it's a P-Bass copy, but it's a good copy. Terry Eustace, thank you very much for the $4.99. Very kind of you, buddy. Let's keep on skipping those ads, you guys. It's awesome. Predict new furniture in Scott's future. What do you think, Bun? She's ambiguous.
We're very low maintenance people.
Yeah, she says we're very low maintenance. Yes, we are. We were probably going to get kitchen chairs because we hate our kitchen chairs. So those will be coming up. But we actually almost got some, and then the garage sale or the ad was taken down before we got there. We're just too busy. You need an early 60s monohull with bat wings. I had one. I had I forget what it was called. It was an epic thing with the big fins and everything. And I wanted to do exactly what you're talking about. But I was just like, when? Doug says a Panhard. Yes. Mexican Spec says I'm missing a 63 Plymouth. Yes, I do agree. You should look into Elton's 1963 Plymouth painting he just did. It's amazing. Bob said, do you ever sell a car? Oh, yeah, I sell a few. Not too many, but I'll sell them when I want to. Sometimes the car has to go. Panhard for sure. Are you going to shave again? Sure, I've shaved 10 times. Gotta go. Thank you very much, Don. Would I get a Palace DS? Yeah, I would, but I have an D special that I would like to put together. The Palace, yeah, it'd be nice if one came along. Let's see. How about a VW Beetle? Fair question. The thing with Beetles, and I like Beetles, but they're not. There's already lots of people out there taking care of the Beetles. You know what I mean? Like Beetles, there's lots of support for them, and there's lots of people enthusiastic about them to the point where they keep the prices up. And so I guess in short, maybe it's just not weird enough. Like when I was a kid, every second car was a Beetle, so they don't really like make me go, wow. Like I like to buy the cars now that if I saw one when I was a kid, I would have been, wow, like the big tail fin cars, they were already gone when I was a kid. Like there was lots of cars from the mid 60s and newer around, but I guess, yeah, I just remember seeing those 1950s cars, the little toys and stuff, and thinking, where are all these cars? You know, and so all these years later, those are the cars that I really, you know, gravitate to, just the wow factor on those. So Clayton Pattison, a big brass car. Yes, of course. I would love a big brass anything. Even a brass T would be wonderful, but they have real price tags. So a brass car will maybe wait until maybe one day I'll have to downsize and I'll sell 3 or 4 cars and buy a really special brass car. So we'll see. There you go. 54 Packard sedan on Facebook right now. Says Shopcat 1800, nice car. Yeah, right. See, I mean, why people have asked why wouldn't I restore the one I've got? Well, because a good one is, like, I saw a nice one with plates on it for less than $4,000. So it's a car that is a lovely car. I'd love to have one, but I'm not going to restore one that's a great parts car. It's a running parts car, but it is not a restoration project. And even if the rust didn't get to you, it's the fact that it's been smashed and the whole front end is over about a half an inch, and it's all welded. It's just garbage. It's all bubble gum welded back together. It's a piece of crap, but it's still fun to fire it up and listen to it. So thank you guys all for the kind words for the show. It's very nice to hear that so many of you watched it for so long. So let's see. What's up with the Rover? Oh, yes. Dr. Rick, good to hear from you, buddy. We did kind of cover that. Sorry, I have to defer to what I said earlier. If I've already addressed it, I can't answer the same questions, or we'll get nowhere. I'm already so far behind. Let's see. Gnostic, gotta say, I've been inspired by your show to try bodywork that I wouldn't have tried otherwise. Oh, well, thank you. That's about the best that we can hear, because it's, you know, if you're not in a hurry, it can be done. Dr. Rick asks, how often do you do live streams? Well, this is the second one this year, and that'll probably be it for this year. I was thinking, and I did get some internet upgrades here, I might think about trying to do a live stream either of opening the mail with the boys or possibly the Halloween party with the bands and stuff. So I'm thinking about that. Oh, there was Josh Barba. Thank you so much, Josh. I regret that I was taking so long. You see the little thing up at the top there. It disappears. I wish they didn't, because anyway, thank you so much, Josh, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I saw that $50 up there, but I thought it would be there longer, or I thought I would be faster. Anyway, you guys, Josh gets to skip the next 5,000 ads on this channel. That's probably longer than I will be able to do it. You're done for life, Josh. Thank you so much, buddy. That is awesome. Let's see. Clayton votes for a Jag 3.8 Moss 4-speed Barani wires on Ash's fiberglass job. That would be an excellent car, but then it would be more like a kit Jag, I think. The plan is kind of to make a life-size Hot Wheels car kind of thing. Like, it's going to have just huge tires and chrome pipes sticking out and Webers and metal flake, and like it's got to be the most juvenile nonsense car that we can imagine. I hope it, I'll leave the interior to him, but to me it should be like part boogie van, part T-bucket, part Hot Wheels car. Remember those show rods from the 60s that were just like out of control, like chrome frames and huge zoomy pipes, like Munster coach, kind of ridiculous. That's kind of the plan, because it's such a silly thing anyway. Like, there's no point in trying to make it into something tasteful because it's ridiculous. So let's just go completely off the rails with it. So plus it's way smaller than a van. So no matter how much work the body and paint is, it won't be as much work as the van. Plus I got to do my Impala. That's going to be another crazy metal flake job. So Martin asked, what happened to the nice 51? Oh, sorry, I put nice. So that he didn't say that. That 51 or 52 Pontiac that ran so well a couple of years ago. I sold that to a gentleman who was going to use it for the drivetrain to restore a two-door. So I don't know what became of it, but I hope something. Anyway, it was a good run. The rest of the car was no loss, but it had a lovely engine in it. I kind of wish I'd kept it because I could have donated it to Kyle for his chicken truck project, because that's the drive line that he's got in there, and I don't think his engine is as good as what I had in that thing. So, Snow Crusher called me the tangent master. Fair play, buddy. Jack Mitchell, any interest in a set of free wheel covers for a 63 New Yorker? Well, sure. I mean, I hope you don't live very far away, though. I wouldn't want you. Don't be driving up here from Texas with a set of wheel covers, okay? That would be a waste of your time. Have you ever done any Fiats? I have not done a Fiat. I have a friend, Matthew, who's got several Fiats, and we featured a couple of them on the show, including a lovely Brava, which I just love. What a cool car. Hammers. Hey, Bun. Thank you for answering some of the questions. You're a doll. Just so you guys know, Hammers is Bunny. Hammers is Bunny. When's the next live? This is it, buddy. I could not tell you. I wish I knew before it was coming up. Well, thank you, Paul. I tried to post a few hours ago. Honestly, I didn't really know I was going to be doing this until this afternoon when I realized that my already edited video had disappeared. So I was kind of like, well, I'd like to do something on a Thursday, and I didn't really have time to start over. So I thought, well, we'll do a live stream, and I don't do them very often because I don't want to be, I don't want people to have to look at my face any more than necessary. So, let's see. Jack says, no worries at all. Send out the wheel covers. Oh, well, I'm just in BC. Oh, well, thank you very much, Jack. That's very kind. Be careful of the postage, though, because sometimes I've had people send me stuff and then I see what they paid for postage, and I'm just like, oh my, please. Like, don't ruin yourself putting postage on something just to get rid of it. I very much appreciate it, and they'll go to a good home. But make sure, don't feel bad if you get to the post office. Jonathan W., if you get to the post office and change your mind, I will not be offended. Jonathan W., you guys, Jonathan's here. People were asking, well, when's the last time you heard from Jonathan? And I'm like, oh, it's been a while. So there he is, you guys. Ask him some questions. Can you guys believe it? Martin DuPont, thank you very much. Wow. That is very kind of you, Martin. And Martin gets to skip 2,000 ads. That'll take care of the rest of the time. And Virtue Streams, very cool. I recognize your names from the comment section, you guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out for so long. We should ask Jonathan how's it going down in North Carolina? Yeah, man, that is fantastic. There we go. Yeah. Mexican spec. I will ask Dan. He's a nice gray stick shift. If it's a stick, he might be a little more interested. I don't know. Dan, the trouble with Dan is if he doesn't buy it that day, he buys something else the following day. And he's bought about 4 cars in the last month. So that's something I'll certainly put it past him, though. Thank you. And I think I still have your email address if he's interested. So thanks very much, Mexican spec. Wayne Fuller, geez, thank you so much. Enjoy the show. Still want to see Stella's Roadster. Well, thank you, Wayne. I will put your very kind donation towards tires for Stella's Roadster. I think it's time to get that thing done. Tires will be the biggest single expense on it because the rest of it is essentially a brake job and whatever. But the tires will be several $1,000s because I have a very particular set of tires in mind for it. So that is extremely kind of you, Wayne, and that's one more piece of the puzzle there. Back when you had a beard, yeah. Oh, that's funny. I had a beard up until, well, when did I shave? September, I don't know, sometime around the beginning of the month. So how about you, Jonathan? Let's see if we can get Jonathan to shave. That'll never happen. And I was so happy to see that Jonathan was working both on his 39 Chevy sedan, I think it's a two-door sedan, and my favorite car of yours, the Franklin, which is just one of the most amazing cars with a actual solid timber frame, a timber frame car. Like that car is amazing, and I'm really was just thrilled to see that you were putting a few minutes on that one, buddy. So but I see how you could get a little distracted with the 5,000 ton engines that you have been putting together. Maybe one day, if I ever get my shit together enough to somehow be able to leave the country, I would love to come and see some of that stuff. But meanwhile, back playing with cars, and he might do a video. He says, okay, well, that's the best news we've got from Jonathan tonight, is that he might do some videos, and that is fantastic. And let's see, we'll maybe in the next maybe in the next little while we'll have to get together. I've always been kind of tempted to phone him, but he's just such a busy man. I'm like, he's not going to want to talk to me. So one of these days we're going to. He's been driving it. There you go, guys. You heard it here first. That's the scoop of the night. Jonathan actually has the Franklin running and driving. I think you had it running before, and then there was did you replace a piston? Is that the car I'm thinking of, that you had to do at least one piston? Yeah, I would love to visit, but I don't even have a birth certificate, much less a passport, much less any interest in getting on an airplane anymore. Isn't it amazing that they've taken air travel and just turned it into a chore? Like the most miraculous thing that humanity has ever come up with, and somehow the bureaucrats have made it into a painful shit show. Like the only way I'm getting there is if I hop in with my friend who's a pilot and he flies me down there on some kind of jet that he could borrow or something. We'll see. The fellow who photographs our calendar, James, is actually a pilot and has flown airplanes since he was 16 years old. So maybe one day I'll pester him for a ride, get down there, hang out at Jonathan's. I'll be showing up with nothing, though, buddy. All 6 pistons. There you go. He did replace them. And I can't remember if they were similar pistons from a different engine, or if they were custom made, or if pistons for that Franklin were still available. But either way, what a fantastic car. Franklin is a very special car, and that's the right owner for that. Oh, here we are. Snow Crusher filled us in. The guy that bought the Pontiac Cherry died early this year and never got it in his two-door. That is sad. That is sad to hear. I hope that both cars went to a good home. And that's the best we can hope in a bad situation like that. Oh, Junks Automotive still hanging around, buddy. Awesome. Cheers to Jonathan and Scott. Yeah, what a terrific time. I still have the Auto Repair for Dummies handbook that Jonathan sent me. Consult that all the time. Curly Killshot, thank you so much, man. That is very kind. Pitching in to keep the old show on the road and buying yourself some skipping those ads time. Skip those ads. Do that stuff. Yeah, I've not seen anything advertised on my channel that I would ever buy. So believe me, like I'm not going to be like, oh, don't skip the ads, guys. Like, skip the ads. Who gives a shit? Something small from Bob and I to say thanks. Well, that's very kind of you, man. There we go. Jonathan says I can sleep in the Franklin. There he is. It's a done deal, guys. Maybe I can sleep in the Franklin and drive the Studebaker with the Packard engine back home. No, that would be an offer I couldn't refuse. Oh, and Aggie still makes pistons. They made in 2002. They must have made a batch. That's pretty awesome. I have a gasket set for the Roadster, also Egg. Is it Egg or Aggie Obsolete Automotive Parts? That is quite the company. Can you imagine trying to keep track of the inventory in that place? Kay in Sundry asked, did the Yamaha engine get damaged on the ride? Well, not badly, but it even before I left, I was checking the timing, and you know, when you sweep your dial gauge, and there was on the one side there was a little pause, and then so I knew that there was a little bit of slop in the one side, and I'm almost certain that that is what I'm hearing now, because it's probably gone from 1.5 thou to 4 thou, and it's just enough to make noise now. Is it rode off? No, I didn't actually ride the bike the second day when we went to get photographs and went to ride up to that abandoned town. I actually rode Andy's extra bike that he brought, the lovely Suzuki, because I didn't want to damage the Yamaha any further. So we used the Yamaha just a little bit to get some shots that I needed, and then I put it on the truck and brought it back home. And it doesn't even make noise when it's cold, so whatever's wrong with it is not terminal. I didn't want to blow a hole in the side of it, so that's kind of where we're at with it. But since I got home, I haven't even washed it. I pushed it in the garage and then right back to whatever. Like, it's just, you know how it is. It's nonstop. Motor Town Curiosities, thank you so much, buddy. That is very kind of you to pitch in, and we'll be putting a certain amount of this towards the Roadster project if you guys want to see that dumb. So, if you want to see it dumb, it's already dumb. Hey, there's Richard, RWB. Thank you so much. Jonathan's here too, Richard. Isn't that cool that Richard contributed, I believe it, to the V8 Showdown project and sent the original Studebaker gasket kit so I could rebuild that V8. And that was just such a generous thing. Richard has contributed so many times to this show. So thank you so much, buddy. I'm glad you could stop in. Sorry, we're kind of 2 hours into it already, but it's the way she goes. Let's see. Get you a place. Come down to North Carolina. Yeah, well, it's a pretty fun idea. One day I'll have all these cars done, and I'm just going to drive around and travel around. That'll be fun. So, Jim, late but here. Oh, nice you're looking. Oh, very kind of you. Yeah. The warden likes the, yeah, well, that's very kind of the warden to say. Yeah, Jerry, the guy that bought the Pontiac from the show, was a patron of ColdWarMotors. Yeah, he absolutely was. And I only got to meet him the one time, and I was kind of hopeful that he would have gotten that in there, but it is sad to hear that. Well, and you know, when I think about that stuff, it's one of the reasons why I decided years ago, I'm not going to wait till I'm 70 to start building my cars, because they won't get done. Because I can hardly go up and down the stairs now. I don't know how many cars are going to be getting built when I'm 70. I want to be driving them when I'm 70. So, Andrew asks, can the blue 50 Dodge be a daily driver? Well, not in its current state. Any one of them could be a daily driver. Assuming I fix the transmission, that gets it running and moving around, but it would still need brakes, still need a little bit of floor repair. The interior is really filthy. I would think that it would need a headliner and presumably upholstery. I've certainly seen worse, but I guess it depends what you're willing to put up with. But I'm going to move the car. I think if we get the car running and so that it can be moved around, then there's a possibility. I know Stephen had expressed some interest in it. It would be fun if he wanted to put it together. I guess the thing is, any one of them could be done. It's just with 5 projects already on the go, you got to be very careful about how many more you're going to start before you finish these. So, Michael, I'm sorry, Michael, is it Nuttall? Good evening. Well, good evening to you. Yes, and our Richard is in Cabo. No, I believe Richard lives there. I might be wrong. Brent asks, when are we going to see some love for the old 41 Plymouth again? Well, the most love that I can show it right now is keeping it inside and dry. That is a running car. The thing is, it's like a bunch of the others. Now, that one's not too rusty, but I really want to get a couple of half-finished cars off the list. I know how it'll go. If I tear into that 41 Plymouth and I start doing the brakes and stuff, well, then who's doing the brakes on the 60 Impala, and who's doing the interior on the 59 Buick? Like, the Buick and the Impala, are both massive piles of shit. Like, those cars should have been bailed. But so, and then the Roadster and the SM and then the 25 Dodge is kind of one I would consider kind of what I would think of as an easy project, because it doesn't need body, it runs, it doesn't need paint, and it doesn't need an interior, and even the wiring. I wanted to have that car on the road this year, but the summer has just gotten eaten up. We did get 3 or 4 vehicles on the road this summer, so I'm very happy with that. We got Bun's Plymouth on the road, and we got the Volvo finished. That was an 8-year project. My old 61 Plymouth is back on the road. That's been sitting for 25 years. And I got another motorcycle that I haven't even showed you guys yet, and that will be on the road. So that's 4 more tags. Pretty good. Usually happy to get 1, maybe 2 cars on the road every year. And then, so that just means there's 4 more batteries and oil changes and tires and maintenance and mufflers and all that bullshit. And so, the more cars you get on the road, the harder it is to find the time to get the next one on the road. So to pull off 3 or 4 already this year is very, very satisfied with that. So Timo Rake, cheers. Howdy from Apache Junction, Arizona. Well, howdy from Alberta, Arizona. Sounds, everybody I know who's been to Arizona just loves it. Julian says, when does the tractor get a paint job? Oh, sorry, Julian, that's not happening. I'm not painting that thing. I just have too much else to do, and I don't really think it would add to it. And to do it properly, it'd be different if that was a really valuable tractor. But if Jonathan's still here, he can probably vouch for me saying that an International Super W6 is a nice tractor, but it is not a rare or valuable tractor. If it was, it'd be different. But it is not a tractor that is the kind of thing that I would put a bunch of money into. I might buy more tractors. I almost bought one the other day. Laura sent it to me, and she's like, you should go buy this tractor, which is awesome that my sister sends me tractors to buy. But it's the trouble with tractors, and not to be a baby about it, but they're very heavy, and that means my little trailer won't do it. I have to borrow Colin's, what do you call those things? Low boys and truck and all this stuff. So another tractor, it'll come along. I guess I have plenty to keep me busy. So, Harry Blue Max asks, is there a track where you and the agents can run the Roadster? Funny enough, I'm probably going to a track this Saturday with Ashley where he's going to run his BMW M3. And I'm hoping, fingers really crossed, that if you guys might remember that Lotus 58 that I painted 5-6 years ago, my friend John might even be bringing the Lotus. And if I get to film an M3 and a Lotus 58 going around a proper racetrack, I'll be a very happy fellow. And so I'm trying to think which one of my cars would be a track car, and the answer is none of them. So I might bring the black Renault just to get some comedy shots of it leaning way over. So we'll see. The track is not anybody I know, so it'd be a question of being invited back again. So we'll see. Kevin asked how much are vintage tags in Alberta. They are not much. It's actually pretty reasonable, but they're restricted to how much mileage you can put on and what you can do with them. I get away with it because I don't go anywhere and I don't have a job. So I don't commute and I don't drive it into town. I have a regular plate on my gold Renault and a regular plate on the Volvo and a regular plate on my truck. So if I got to run errands or do bullshit town stuff, I just take one of those vehicles. But if I'm just going to visit my friends or whatever, I don't worry about running a vintage plate. Even if I'm not technically going in a parade or whatever, like I put on so few miles and I divide it among 15 cars that most of my cars don't get a tank of gas every year. What year is the motorcycle next to the door, the corner of the barn? Oh, that's a 84 or 5 Yamaha FJ 1100. I might have found a home for that. Yeah, so we'll see. I may have found a home for that guy, which is good because I need the space for a different bike, which is a little more my kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm going with that Yamaha. I got that probably 10 years ago, and I just haven't had the time, and I've got 3 other bikes on the go right now, so it's probably realistic to find out a good home with somebody who's interested in it. So Steve Sierra says 18. Old doesn't mean valuable. Yeah, fair play. Richard Lincoln enjoyed the S90 Back to the Future segment. Well, thank you very much, Richard. I'm glad you got a kick out of that. I certainly had fun doing it, and I had actually, people asked about the beard and if I lost a bet or whatever. I had been wanting to shave for almost a year, but once we had the idea for that Volvo video, I said I won't shave until we get the Volvo done. And so when I finally got it done, I was, I'd been waiting to shave for damn near a year anyway. So it wasn't like some big trauma that I shaved for that video, as I had been waiting to anyway. So RCS 650, thank you so much, buddy. Evening, everyone. Get to see Godspeed Black Emperor tomorrow. My favorite Canadian anarchist band. That is awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy. There's always something enjoyable about seeing the best of the Canadian anarchist bands. I will have to look into those. I'm sure I've heard the name, but I'm so out of touch with music now. I don't even. I think Bun knows more bands than I do now. Let's see. USA is vintage insurance. We can drive only $2,500 a year. Yeah, if we have something like that, that'd be fine. Most of my cars don't get 200, much less 2,500. All drives in this old stuff are test drives. Jake nailed it. They allow you to do test drives, and right, if I'm leaving my yard, it's a test. So Junk's got to go to bed. The best to you, Scott, buddy. Thank you so much for all the kind and generous support over so many times now, Mike. Very kind of you guys. I hope Mike gets a few subscribers for hanging out here and putting up with my rambling for so long. So get over to Junk's Automotive. He's got a 57 Chev on the go and a number of other wicked projects, and he's been a very kind supporter of this bullshit for a very long time now. Jim asked what happened to the trunk floor in the Impala. It has not arrived yet. So we will be getting to that. I'm going to have to write back to them. I don't know. I think what they were doing is they were taking orders for something, but making it sound like they had it in stock. And if it says back ordered or not in stock, I wouldn't have ordered it because I'm out a ridiculous amount of money for that and shipping. So I'm not impressed because they said worst case it'd be here by the 1st of September, and now we're almost at the end of September and no trunk floor. And I could make that trunk floor in about 2 days. So I'm going to chew them out and see if I can get my money back. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Randall, you got to take off, buddy. Randall is taking off, taking a handful of Tylenol and going to bed. That is that a song? There's your next song, buddy. Handful of Tylenol and going to bed, buddy. Jonathan's been married 35 years. Wife has never seen him without a mustache. Wow. She might run. You better keep it. Yeah, Bun had never seen me clean shaven, but she's still here. She still looks at me kind of funny, though, but that's awesome. 35 years. Well, congratulations. That is fantastic. And, there's a lady who understands, right? If she was gonna go, she would have gone by now, I think, eh? If she stuck around through the 14 steam engines and the crane and the old cars and the working 24 hours a day, then she's not going anywhere. That is terrific. Well, very happy for you guys. Yeah, I know you definitely do not shave now, man. You got too much to lose. Way too much to lose. Do you remember Andrew Burns asked if I remember my first truck? Do I miss it? I do remember it. I don't really miss it, but I wish I had kept the door. I'm sad that I let it go. I had a deal that I would get the door back, but that didn't happen. Big surprise. But yeah, I would have liked to have the door because that was really cool, and that I would just hung it on the wall because that was a pretty epic Bondo job. So that was the only thing I missed about it. It was a decent truck. I drove it for 10 years. I never changed the oil, never did anything to it, and it never really I wouldn't say it never let me down, but it was more or less good. But when I got the diesel 4x4, now I had something that was usable. And that two-wheel drive Dodge would just get stuck on wet leaves. It was just hopeless. And so I put engines in the back so it would have some traction, but then you couldn't stop it. So it was just not quite what I needed. And then the diesel came up at a good price, and so I jumped on it. I texted Matt the other day about an event that we might get to do for my birthday. And he's doing quite well, I think. I'm not going to speak for him, but I think that he's recovering well, and I think he's at the office a couple of days a week at least, and doing as much as he can without being, on the tools as much as he wants to be. Knowing that he's just had enough of the whole thing, and it's just slowing him down, and that's what he's just probably just wants it over with, as anyone would, I suppose, but especially him. It's not somebody who really takes well to sitting around. So Kay and Sundry asked if there's a motorcycle I always wanted. Yeah, there's probably a lot. I have a few. Tell you what I want. I'm putting it out there because there's no chance I'm going to get it. I want a Peugeot. I want a 250 Peugeot, preferably early post-war, and that would be. That's not something I always wanted. The one I always wanted was the 750 Honda, and I have 3 or 4 of those, so that's enough of that. But right now, because my brother has that lovely Indian motorcycle, I would like to have a 250 Peugeot from the early to mid 50s somewhere. That would be fun because, if you're going to have French cars, you might as well have a weird French motorcycle. I don't think there's even any in Canada, and if they are, they're probably more than I could pay, but that would be nice to have. For Jap bikes, XS650 Yamaha, but I already have one. What else is there? I almost bought a Honda Valkyrie, but then I bought something else instead. I don't remember. I bought a car instead, so I kind of shot that up. Those were a bike that I kind of wanted. When those first came out, I thought, I'll wait till those are old and maybe buy one of those. Well, now they're old and I'm old, and I might buy one. I would like a first year Goldwing with the ones before they had all the bags and shit on there. I like those. So there's a few bikes I would like. I suppose if I thought about it, I'd like a BSA Thunderbolt or a BSA Lightning, late 60s with chrome tank. That would be a bike I would definitely have. There's certainly a lot of bikes I would have, but you know, I just don't get enough chance to use them. So I'm buying them and, you know, putting them in the garage, which is fine too, I guess. Javen asked if Matt is still on the fiddle of mandolin. Oh yeah, he's a all around. If it's got strings, he plays it. Banjo, anything, better than you would even believe. Doug says he likes early Douglas motorcycles. Yes, that would be lovely. I think that's a little out of my range. I don't want to get something that is so, you know, that I'm not worthy of. You know what I mean? It'd be like me buying some super shredder guitar when I'm more of a hacker, you know, like I don't need to buy some kind of, you know, Ingve Malmsteen scallop neck 7-string shred master guitar because it would be wasted on me. I'd be playing Credence on it, you know, pulling it all out of tune. So anyway, Granddad's junk is here. G'day, Scotty. How's it going? It's going pretty good, buddy. We're just sitting here bullshitting, you know. Harry Blue Max asked what happened to the Fargo, your favorite truck. I sold it to a gentleman who had to have it, and he's a local guy. I don't know what he did with it. That was a cool truck, but it was one of those situations where somebody wanted it. They wanted that exact truck in that exact color and that exact year and model, and I was like, well, you know, and they offered me substantially more than I had into it. And so I was like, well, do you not have enough stuff to do? And here's somebody making you a very fair offer. So I'm not unreasonable. I sold it to him. Don't know whatever happened to it. But I'm assuming it's, at very least, it's inside somewhere being dry, you know, which is fine. Willie the Wave says he's had 2 XS 650s and they're a bear to kickstart. Well, I'm willing to give it a go. I've got one in the garage and I just haven't got to it yet. I got a CB 354 I got to get to. So yeah, bikes. I got plenty to keep me busy on bikes. Doug's got it. Doug is out of here. Time to shut her down, buddy. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, man. It's so great to see so many of the familiar people stopping by and saying hi and shooting the shit. Anybody has any questions? I suppose I'm wasting a lot of people's times at 2.5 hours coming up here. So still 400 plus people here. So that's pretty excellent. Very, very, very honored that anybody would waste their time sitting around here bullshitting with us. So RCS, that's how Laura's cabin and the farm fiasco. Well, I covered the farm earlier. It's not as much of a fiasco as it could have been. And the cabin is coming along slow and steady. Hoping to have it airtight by the end of the season here. I've been out helping Laura chink the logs to get that all sorted out so that they can have it warm. Once it's heated inside, then we can move on to chinking the inside of it, and that will allow them to move ahead on, the rest of it, really. I don't know what the plan is for glass. I know they have some very old glass that they salvaged from the original building, and they're going to need some new windows or maybe salvage something else. I don't know what her plan is. She's trying to do a pretty authentic job of it, so I won't speak for her exact plans, but it's a pretty epic project. It's really exciting to see it coming together, and it's a fun thing, and it's nice to see I'm not the only one in the family who likes the stupid projects that take forever. I will say that my projects, I think, cost less than hers in my defense, but hers are more epic for sure. The nice thing about the cabin is that it makes the Rover seem like a very manageable small project, but the trouble with the cabin is it's eating up a lot of time that would have gone into the Rover. So we're going to sublet some of the Rover mechanical work to Stephen, and I'm very excited about that because Stephen is who I would have wanted to do it anyway. If it couldn't be, me and Laura and Colin, then the only other, well, I would have, obviously been happy to have any of my friends do it, but Stephen has got the right kind of temperament for that kind of shit. Put that all back together. It's got an overdrive that's got to work. Like it's got, it's probably a Laycock and it's got a whole bunch of kickouts and kickdowns and switches and all this type of bullshit that all has to work. It's going to be a really epic thing to see it all back together. The interior's already done, the glass is done, the body is done, but not assembled. So it is a little further along, I think, than people might realize. The suspension's done, brakes are done, wheels are done. I think there's tires on it. If there's not, they will be done very soon. But we have to just put the engine back in and get the wiring harness back in. I think most of it's back in, but anyway, there's a lot to do, but a lot of it is done. It's just finding the time, working around the cabin project. Timbuktu, what strain of cannabis do you like the best? Whatever's growing in my yard, buddy. I'm pretty not particular about it. I enjoy not as much as I used to. I used to be rather chronic, but more really had to throttle it back if I got to get serious about making anything out of this and the cars and everything. It's just it's more of a very casual thing now. So, but still growing it in my yard. So yeah, and although I had a friend come over this year and he grows it, like he sent me some pictures. His look like goddamn trees. Like okay, so I was like, tell me how you do that. So we'll see. But that would be a totally different channel. We don't want to dwell on it too much. It's just a kind of an aside. I just I enjoy it, but I don't. It's not a lifestyle. Jonathan had a CB354 to use for a dirt bike. Nice. That would have been a pretty aggressive dirt bike, buddy. Did you save any of the pieces? Got anything that fell off that you can send my way? I've got a pretty decent one, but it had at one time it had a fairing on it, so the ears and headlight, what are the fork extensions, I guess they're called, and the headlight were missing. I think I've cobbled up enough, something close enough, so that I could put it back together. That would have been a funny dirt bike, man. Those are a revy thing too. It must have sounded sweet. That's cool. Let's see. Whoop. Sorry, I pushed the button. I touched something, and then it all jumped ahead about 700 pages here. There we go. Just got here. Aberration just got here. Oh, sorry, you're going to get just the tail end of her, buddy, but we're happy you're here. Thank you so much for stopping in. Steven said, ever have a CX500? I've not had a CX500, but my friend James, the photographer, has had several, and he loved them. They're a cool bike. It's kind of like a Japanese Moto Guzzi. Rode my brother's 441 Victor. Yeah, he can pull. That's cool. Yeah. Wasting my time watching this, drinking bourbon with 424 of my good friends. That's 420. Light them up. There's 420 people here. You know what that means. Mike Noodle says, big fan. What sent you a Model T manual? Thank you so much for Mike. And you know that manual is in the Model T at all times, because you never know when something's going to fall off of that baby. Dave Beasley said, YouTube hid this for me, so I'm late as hell. I'm sorry, Dave. YouTube does not like me. It's mutual. So Granddad's Junk says, you must have some Poly 318s in some of those cars. Sure, I do. All three of my Furies that have plates on them are Poly 318s, and I have probably 1, 2, 3, 4 others in other cars, some of which run, some of which don't. Yeah, I've got more Polys than anybody. Well, I shouldn't say that. I got more Polys than anybody around here. Todd, another vote for the $5 Roadster and more A bodies. Yeah, I would love another 67, 89 Dart 2-door. Still waiting for the right one to come along. We've been close a couple times, but they're not cheap anymore. Funny thing, to buy one that was as bad as the one I bought when I was 16 would probably cost me $5,000 now, and it was a piece of shit. Julian signing off. Cheers, buddy. Oh, what have I done here? There we go. If Steven can fix the Edsel shifter, then I'm pretty sure he can handle the Rover. Exactly my thoughts. Yes. Phil Buckley. Sorry, Phil just got here. Well, that's cool, Phil. Thanks for stopping in. Not sure how much longer we'll be going, but we'll be going for a while, I guess. I mean, we'll, let's see. Scott 250 Twin looks good. Oh, Richard, what's your history with Peugeot bikes? I do not have any history with Peugeot bikes. I just thought it would be fun to have a French motorcycle to go with the French cars, and just something a little less obvious, a little weird. And my brother has that lovely Indian motorcycle, so I don't want to be, that's, I just thought it'd be fun if we both had kind of interesting old motorcycles. I do love the old Jap stuff, and we have lots of that. And I just thought just something a little different. I have, be very happy to, if it doesn't come along, it doesn't. I'm not, certainly not going to obsess over it, but it'd be something that maybe one day. I don't really ride enough to justify having like 20 motorcycles, but so maybe one or two others would be fun. See, Dr. Rick asks if it's legal in Canada. What's that? Motorcycles? Yes. Marijuana? Yes. Oh, it just grows wild. Yeah. No, it doesn't grow wild, but yeah, we grow it. Throw it in there. Whatever. I don't care. There we go. Jay Van Assen's the 72 Wagon and Polly. Nope, Pollys were extinct in Canada in 67 and in the States in 66. So the 72 Wagon right now is a 360. The blue one I just bought is also a 360. And I really want it to be a big block, so I'm probably going to put my new Newport's 400 in it. I really wanted it. It has to go blub, blub, blub. So that's something that's on the to-do list. Dave asks if wish I could find a 60 Starliner. Yes, me too. I had a chance at one, but it was so haggard. I probably should have bought it anyway. When I bought a whole bunch of cars off of Old Reg on the West End there, where I bought my 58 Studebaker and the 47 Chrysler and the Packard and the 57 Plymouth, and I don't know, I bought a 58 Dodge. I bought a whole bunch of cars off of them, and one of the ones that didn't quite make the cut was a 60 Starliner, but it was just so bad. Like, I think the glass was out of it, and if without the glass, there's not really much you could do. If it had had the glass, I probably would have bought it, because then you can always splice it. So yeah, 60 Starliner would be lovely, because then I could have the Plymouth Chev and the Ford, and that would be really cool. Moveco moves and moving and storage. When are you doing the video with DD Speed Shop? Oh, I'd love to anytime, but you think that's a busy guy, and Jonathan also a busy guy. So it's he's closer to me now for sure, but Calgary is still pushing 200 miles away from here, so it's not something that could be a casual thing. It would have to be kind of planned, and I mean, Dan is one of the YouTubers who manages to run a successful YouTube channel and hold down a, quotation marks, proper full-time job. Like he works very hard. So I just don't think he's got a lot of spare time. If he ever wanted to, I would make it happen for sure. I'd love to. I'd like to, do some paint on one of his cars or something fun like that, but it's not up to me, right? That's the protocol. Is it's the fellow with the much more successful channel, it's up to them to ask, so that's fine. Granddad says 4-barrel inlets are hard to find for polys. You can open up the 2-barrel. Yeah, I got a 4-barrel intake for it and the carb WCFB, but I don't build my cars to go fast. If I put it on, it'll just be for laughs. I'd like to have the 4-barrel on one of them, just because it's a rare piece and it's no fun having it just sitting on the shelf. Might as well be doing something with it. So that's how I would go about it. But I'm not really in it to try and make the car go any faster. I don't really care. As long as it looks nice and it steers nice and the brakes are good, that's good enough. A 47 250 twin is on Facebook Marketplace. What, a Peugeot? Don't tell me that, Richard. It's probably in the States. Nevertheless, I will check it out. If there actually is one, I will actually look. Thank you, man. That's cool. Did you ever think of fixing a Russian car? We were just talking about that this morning. I did have a Lada Samara. I would like to have one of the older, what are they, 1600s or whatever they were. You know, the Garage 54 ones. I'd love to have a Lada. They used to be very common around here. They were common and they were cheap, and but they're all gone now. So yeah, if one came my way, I'd definitely give one a home. I think they're quite fun. I got rid of the Samara honestly because it wasn't really that fun. It was an okay car, and that was I was disappointed. I was like, I wanted it to be shit. I wanted it to be just like a terrible car because it would have made me laugh. But I drove it and I was just like, man, it's just kind of like a low rent Volkswagen. It wasn't awful enough. It wasn't great, and it wasn't terrible. It was just okay, and so it wasn't really that fun. It wasn't funny. I kind of wanted it to be shit, but it wasn't shitty enough. They looked kind of cool, and it had panel gaps like you rarely see anymore. Yeah, I was just kind of, and then a friend of mine came over and he had to have it, and he lavished money and shop manuals and everything on it. So great, I was happy to sell it to him because it was just meh. It just wasn't awful enough to be funny. Some Satcom asked what's in the 72 Fury Coupe. It's a 318. That is a 318 car. And yeah, that thing still runs. I mean, I assume it does. I haven't started it in a while, but if I had to start it, I'm sure it would start. We had to rob a few bits off of it for Bun's Plymouth Satellite. But other than that, it's still all there. I think as long as you didn't need to use the windshield wipers, it's probably still okay. The Ladas all got smashed in car crash videos. Yes, absolutely they did. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, while I'm caught up, we should probably, because I have to get back to editing because I am very much behind the 8 ball. So if anybody's watching this, if you notice that this Saturday's video might not be as polished as I would have liked, it's just because we're trying to break in a new computer, and I'm trying to learn the software, and I'm trying to, the same old bullshit, just a bit of a, and of course this stuff is never planned. Of course, the thing is that the computer I've been using for years here has been quite over its head for quite a while now, and I was running it on like 15 external plug-in USB drives because I ran out of memory years ago. And so I was having to unplug one thing to plug the camera in, and then you'd have to shut everything off and turn it. Oh my God, it was a gong show. So maybe a blessing in disguise because I don't like computers. I don't like buying them. I don't like working with them. And I don't like going to town. I don't like going to stores. So I kind of knew in some part of me that I was going to run that thing till it burned down, and then it burned down. And unfortunately, it burned down with half my week's work in it. So I guess, you know what, though? It burned down on a Monday and not a Friday. Because if it had burned down on Friday, then you got zero chance of anything happening. So that's, I guess, in a way, it was the best that we could hope for. That it would burn down with enough time for me to go cobble something together. Mexican's back asked if Bun drives her satellite. Yes, she doesn't drive it enough, Bun. Oh, she's laughing at me. Yeah, she does drive it. When her friends come over, they take it out and they go cruise around in it. And yeah, it starts up every time. Just a super fun, reliable car. It'll be in this year's calendar too. I'll see what else is going to be in this year's calendar. Oh, that's the weather. Boy, I'm really good at this too. Do we get any good pictures here? Oh yeah, you guys want to see a preview for everybody that's stuck around? Yeah, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to see that. Oops. Hey, that'll be October. It's not really focusing very well, is it? Oh well. Anyway, that's the only one I have on me. Yeah, we have. I'm not showing you that because you haven't seen that car done yet. But yes, all is going well. It's going to be a terrific calendar. Out of order asked what software I'm using. I use the free download of DaVinci Resolve Pro 20, which is very, very good. And it allows me to do all kinds of stuff and without paying for the professional version, which does give you more special effects and shit. But I can do the green screening and I can do all that stuff that I need to do without any trouble. And it's a very good program. And it takes up a certain amount of horsepower on the old computer, but I'm happy to do it. So yeah, that's the best one I've found so far. I'm sure if you're used to something else, then it's fine too. Like we're not making, we're not Hollywood here, so just whatever gets it done without crashing too many times. So. Moveco moving. Thanks, Scott. You guys are awesome. Well, thank you very much. You're very kind to say. Yes, the Gold Twins. Yeah. Dr. Rick. Cheers, Dr. Rick. Thanks for stopping in, man. And I hope you're all feeling better. I did catch your note in the comments. So happy that you're able to hang out with us tonight. Mexican Spec says holy shit. Mark Cameron. Yeah. Hey, who else is glad I didn't hang up just now, eh? Oh, that's awesome. Well, let me get through here. Mexican Spec says you wouldn't be mad if we do more. Yeah, I get it. Thank you. I would. I don't want to, I guess I don't want to, overdo it. You probably should do a little more, but Winter Grip 91 says, "Are you enjoying the hot stuff Volvo?" Oh yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it especially when all I have to do is, when you're sitting in traffic and it's nice. It doesn't ride as nice I live out in the country in the rough roads. I still prefer the Renault or the Citroën, but the Volvo is a lovely car, and there's going to be an occasion where I'm going to have to go somewhere between 200 and 500 miles at very high speeds and not be worried about it. And that's what it's for. The rest of the time, I'm happy with the junkers. I love driving the old 37 Chevy and all that stuff. The Volvo is, it's for those very rare occasions when you have to be, where I either have to go fast or sit in traffic or show up somewhere looking respectable. Unfortunately, those things don't happen very often. But when they do happen, now I've got the car for it. Mark Cameron, I don't know what to say, buddy. That is extremely kind of you. A little thank you for many hours of good times. Well, thank you, man. And yes, Mark has also joined the Skip the Commercials for Life Club. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, everybody else skip them, especially if you pitched in. Send us a few bucks and skip those commercials because, don't feel like you're shortchanging me if you don't if you skip the commercials because don't sit and torture yourself so I get 1 cent. You know what I mean? Yeah, so thank you guys all so much. Right, Mexican sex. Nobody gets tired of Tony's lives twice a week. That's true. Maybe he's just better at chatting than me, though. He's always got something to talk about, and I'm kind of like, I hope somebody asks me something about a car, because otherwise I'm screwed. Winter Grip says they have issues with front end bushings. Yep, already did them. I get it. Yep, that was a fail on the inspection, so very good. Well, you guys have all been so kind to stop in, and I guess we will take off and get back to the old editing grind. But this was just a terrific way to spend 2 hours and 43 minutes. Hey, pretty good, eh? I didn't even pass out. And we will get back at the old show here so that we got something for Saturday. And thank you all so much again. Always so cool to see so many names that I recognize. And for hanging out with us 15 years of this. And so you know, the way that I can keep doing it is that we can't let it start to feel like a job. So as long as it feels like we're hanging out with our friends, and that's what we're going to do. And so cheers from everybody at this Not a Show, and hope you enjoy the Not a Show on Saturday. And we'll see everybody then. Cheers.